Hello, everybody. It's the Gaming Optimist. Today, I'm talking about I'm ranking things again. Funny story. I just did this the day before. It is June 28th. Very special day. Very special day in my heart. This list is going to be the reason why I'm saying anything about this is because I know this is going to come out like in January. Um, so hello from this time capsule. I record my reviews super advanced in months in advance. I've had a lot of time to do so. It's kept me sane ish. I yesterday I yawn a lot, and it might be the depression. It might be the anxiety. It might be just because I'm super tired. Also, my back is killing me. I don't know what's going on, but I'm staying positive. Yesterday, I recorded an hour and 20 minutes of this ranking, just babbling, and then it shut off. Reason being, I ran out of space and the phone was about to die. Two things just nope. Phone was like never mind. So I deleted all those videos, put it on the charger, recorded it again, and I was falling asleep, yawning so much. Every sentence, every other sentence, I'm just just yawning, and I'm probably gonna do it a lot again because all in all, I had to do three different videos. The second video at the end of it, I'm like, I'm tired. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I gotta do this, finish this tomorrow. The next day, or not the next day, like 30 minutes pass. I feel like I'm energetic. I can do this. Let's go. And I started getting tired again, and I'm falling asleep. I'm just like saying things that have nothing to do. So I have three videos. Normally, I would just combine those three videos and then release it as a full length video. I couldn't. My phone wouldn't let me. I had a website that I was using, 123 Clips or something, some weird movie thing that was the only one that will allow that length. It's been uploading all day and it wouldn't do it. So I was like, I might as well just scrap that whole video. As funny as it is, it would have been my worst video ever, and not representative of my love for the Mortal Kombat series. I had to scrap it. But luckily, hopefully, I can get through this one a lot better, maybe a little bit faster even. I have to. There's going to be a lot of torches and pitchforks with this one because I am doing guest characters. They're going to rank fairly low though, because I'm doing canon characters to the main canon. Now, technically, and I've said it before, everything is canon because of MK11. Every single thing, things that you think head canon is canon. Um, so this list is going to be a wild one, but there's going to be a certain point where I feel like people are going to be like, "Are you kidding me?" But because of head canon and guest characters being very low, I had to make guest characters low because Kratos was in my like top 10. He was like maybe number 2, and I was like, I can't do that. I love Kratos. I love God of War. I can't do that. Honestly. So without further ado, there's like 160-ish characters. A little over 160. I'm already feeling the need to yawn, but I got my water, got my coffee. Let's get this shit started. It was either IGN or Dorkly back in the day that had their top 10 worst Mortal Kombat characters ever. Because I love Mortal Kombat, I was like, hell yeah, I want to see what they think. Am I going to disagree? Am I going to agree? I love seeing other people's opinions, and usually I don't let it bother me, but sometimes, and this list bothered me because I felt like their worst character ever was a cop out. I'm like, this character is the same character as the character. This is just a different version of the character. But I have matured over the years, with age, and I can say firmly that yes, this is a different character, and yes, it is the worst character. It's Zombie Liu Kang. Liu Kang is killed off in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance in the opening cutscene. Amazing choice, very bold and daring, and I feel like, still looking back, it was the right call. It was great. However, nobody stays dead in Mortal Kombat. Oh, no one stays dead. They always come back somehow, some way. But he died in such a definitive shocking way that they had to bring him back in an equally shocking way with Mortal Kombat Deception. Raiden is now evil. He's Dark Raiden. I am not. I'm not counting Dark Raiden and Raiden as separate characters. Same thing with the Revenant characters in MK9 to 11. They're the same characters. They are the same people. They're not brainwashed. They still have their thoughts and feelings just amplified in a negative way. They know who they are. I am Liu Kang. Zombie Liu Kang does not think he's Liu Kang. He's a fucking zombie who he's a zombie. He's a zombie, right? He can't. He's just a fucking vessel that just happens to go whoa, and do the Liu Kang shit. I think the idea of him, like I like the idea of him. There's these chains that kept his body. Somehow, for some reason, he has chains around his wrists. I think because when Raiden resurrected him, he probably put those on to like control him. And the chains come up into a hook, like they were hooked to the ground or something. And he holds those hooks as if he's going to use them as a fucking weapon, and he never uses them as a weapon. I think that'd be pretty cool, pretty neat to use those like as a fucking like Blades of Chaos, Kratos kind of thing. Just it would be a sick weapon, and that would give Zombie Liu Kang a little bit more character than just a zombie that happens to do Liu Kang shit. Just the worst, just the absolute worst. I couldn't. Yeah, I had to put him as the lowest, even under the guest characters. He's that bad. Now we go into the guest characters or characters that share the same game. I'm talking, of course, about MK versus DC, DC Universe, MK versus DCU. It's Darkseid. Now, you might be asking, how is Darkseid, one of DC's heaviest hitters, this far down on the list? You got to remember, we're just going off of Mortal Kombat versus DC. We're just talking about the realm of Mortal Kombat. That game is a dumpster fire anyway. The Darkseid is knocked through a portal from Metropolis in a fight with Superman. Superman, at the same time, the events of Mortal Kombat 3 are happening. Raiden, I think that's the timeline they're going off of. Shoots a lightning bolt and knocks Shao Kahn through a portal. Both of them collide, and we don't see them for the rest of the game until the very end, where they're bound in chains. Darkseid is anyway. He's in the Netherrealm, chained up. Now Shao Kahn has a lot more backstory because he is a Mortal Kombat character, so of course he's not going to be this far down. But Darkseid, this is his only appearance in an MK game to date, and it's quite abysmal. He's getting his ass handed to him. He's fun to kind of play as. It's cool that he's in the game as a playable character, even though he gets his shit rocked. But that's why he's so far down the list. So far. As a character, right, I would put him higher as like a DC character than some of these, especially the next one on this list. But because he gets his shit rocked, he's pretty far down. Then there's Captain Marvel. Outdated ass name. Captain Marvel is now Shazam, because they had the lawsuit with Marvel. There are two different Captain Marvels. Everyone's like, what is this woke garbage? There's a woman as Captain. Which one is which? I don't understand this shit. Please kill me now. I don't understand. Shazam. How dare you change this? Anyway, I'm going on a kind of a little rant there. Captain Marvel is boring as fuck in this game. I think they give him some story and some background to try to like explain to the normies like me who the fuck Captain Marvel is. I had no idea who Captain Marvel was. But he's just pretty weak in my opinion. His moves are weak. Just Captain Marvel. Wonder Woman is next. Down with Women. I see. I didn't used to like Wonder Woman. I especially don't like her design in this game. She's grown on me as a character over the years, but I just thought she was like female Superman. I don't care about her. And in this game, especially not in this game. This game is so terrible. Next up is the Flash, aka Barry Allen. I forgot Billy Batson is Captain Marvel. I didn't mention that in the last 3 videos too when I first recorded this. The Flash is Barry Allen. I remember when we were playing this game for the first time, I was like, "Where's Wally West? Where the hell is Wally West?" And that I thought Wally West was the original. Turns out Jay Garrick is the original, right? Am I right? Comic book nerds. But Barry Allen's like the most well-known Flash, so that's the one they went with. And he's fast. That's cool. They don't really do anything in this game. Like there are only two important characters in this game, and we'll get to them shortly. They're at the top of the list. You'll see. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. He's got the ring. There's a lot of interesting potential there. Again, doesn't really do anything. I like Green Lantern more as a character than the Flash. Um, just personally, I like the Green Lantern a lot. I like the Flash too. Don't get me wrong, but I just like Green Lantern better. Catwoman goes above. The villains usually go are better in this game because they actually get fatalities. The fatalities are garbage, but what's even more garbage is that the heroes get heroic brutalities. This is the only Mortal Kombat game that's rated T for teen. They couldn't show a lot of blood. Any blood that they did show had to be very minimal. And when there was a fatality, nothing really bloody happened. No dismemberment. If someone's set on fire, there's no skeleton shown. And when there is a skeleton shown, it's very like just fluorescent. It's very bright, clean of all blood and guts and all that kind of stuff. Catwoman is a villain in this game, which is an interesting choice. I mean, she's done both. She's really an anti-hero. I love Catwoman usually, but she's really shitty in this game. A lackey to Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is like the main villain, the head of the villains of the DC universe, even over Joker. So that's pretty crazy. But which, speaking of, Lex Luthor is the next on this list. I think he's pretty sick in this game with the suit and everything. Like they explained how he could be a fighter in this universe, and they did it quite well. And he's a real threat. He's a real powerhouse. Next above him is Deathstroke. This is really biased because I just said Lex Luthor was above the villains. I don't remember him and Deathstroke interacting. I'm pretty sure they did. I don't know. I barely remember. I just like Deathstroke more than Lex Luthor. That's just my opinion. I mean, I don't think that's like a very hot take either. Like Deathstroke is dope as shit. Really, really cool. I love Slade. Catwoman, Selena Kyle. I love Slade Wilson. I love him so much. He is daddy. I love him. Next up is Dark Khan. This is a very interesting character. This is an amalgamated mixture character. This is really crazy. I mentioned how Darkseid and Shao Kahn collided through the portal situation. They created a new character who looks goofy as shit. He looks stupid. He'd be far down this list if we were basing it off appearance alone, but lore-wise, he's the main antagonist of this game, and he's filling every combatant with rage. So, like, heroes are turning on heroes, villains are turning on villains. Like, everyone's just out for blood, or T-rated blood, and it's something. It's more that any of these other fucking characters get. Their story is very like light and just non-existent, really. Just kind of like dealing with all this shit. But if none of these characters if you take these characters out, if you take all the characters out besides the most important DC character, and then the most important Mortal Kombat character and Raiden, I kind of alluded to who the most important DC character is in this story. It would not matter. It wouldn't matter at all. None of them have an impact on the final battle. So I don't really care. But Dark Khan is the boss, so that's why he ranks so high. But he is dumb looking as fuck. He's stupid. This happened last time too. I gotta let Ollie out, my kitty cat. Next up is Batman. Now, Batman, Bruce Wayne, everybody knows Batman. He's the world's greatest detective. And he's my favorite DC superhero because I am a filthy casual. Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel character, favorite superhero of all time. I don't think I would ever pick, as a kid, if I was introduced to, say, X-Men before Spider-Man, I don't think I would stick with, like, say, Wolverine as my favorite superhero. I'd always rebound to Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. Um, Actually, my first superhero of all time was the Green Ranger, um, Tommy Oliver. Rest in peace. Jason David Frank. But anyway, Batman. That's why he ranks so high in this list. But again, doesn't really do anything. Doesn't have an impact on the story. That's crazy to to say out loud because he's arguably DC's most important character. But ranking above him is Superman. Superman is the most important character in this game. He he's the one that pushes Darkseid through the portal and sets it off, and then as he and Raiden are doing battle filled with rage, they fight through the rage to take down Darkhan once and for all. And if that ain't a good feel good ending, I hated Superman. I loved him as a kid. I think a lot of people did. That rhymed. And then, but Superman just he grew. I hated him because of how generic and bland he looked. He came off to me. When you think superhero, you think Superman. That's the idea of it. But then when you think of the idea of a superhero and that first hero pops in your head, as that becomes like the generic, and then you're like, eh. But as I've gotten older, I do respect Superman a lot more. Like I said earlier, I've matured, So sue me. The Joker. Now, how does the Joker rank higher than Superman if he doesn't have an impact on the story, really? Like, it's fun hearing, what is his name? Richard Epcar? The voice of Raiden and Joker, which is pretty cool, pretty impressive. I do like Richard Epcar's Joker voice. Why is he so high on this list? Because the Joker also was a DLC guest character, in MK11. Really threw me for a loop that they were doing it again. It was like a porno version of Joker. Upon the first reveal that we got, and then we got the greatest, like one of the greatest guest characters ever. I love the Joker. I think he's one of the standouts of MK11. There's a lot of bias here that's about to come into play. We made it almost 20 minutes without me really yawning. Yeah, we are now officially in guest character territory. I count all the MK versus DCU, the DC characters as guests, but they're not guests. They're just they're crossover characters, but I still count them as guests. But this is now like officially guest. We got RoboCop. I have never seen any of the RoboCop movies. I know. Torches and pitchforks, please. Down, please. He's slow as fuck in this game. I hate him. When he was announced, I was like, he's just going to be another Terminator, and that's exactly what he was. Speaking of, the Terminator. It's cool that we got Terminator versus RoboCop in a Mortal Kombat game. Pretty dope. They had their own Terminator versus RoboCop game and comic book. That's really awesome. It's nice that we got the likeness of Arnie. It sucks that we didn't get the voice. The voice is terrible, and he's slow as shit. But when you first see that reveal, ooh, Terminator's so dope. And I've actually seen, I want to say Terminator 1 and 2. It's been a long time, though. So I do respect the character. I mean, the franchise doesn't. A lot of directors don't respect Terminator. You know how many god-awful sequels they've made? Holy shit. Yeah. The Terminator. Next up is Rambo. I've never seen any of the Rambo movies. I know. Torches, pitchforks, please. How is he ranked higher than RoboCop in Terminator? He's just a badass. Watching clips of his film series, I was like, this dude is fucking insane. When you first get the reveal and you don't know who Rambo is, who is this fucking guy? Who the fuck is this guy? Who does he think he is going up against gods and ghouls and goblins? Who does he think he is? Rambo, John Rambo, Sylvester Stallone. Shut the fuck up. but then you see what he can do, and he's fast as fuck, boy. In this game, he is so great. I love Rambo. I think he's a fantastic addition. It really made me a believer and made me want to watch the Rambo series big time. And these guest characters are like really good at doing that. Case in point, I mean, I wanted to see this series before. Peacemaker. I love me some John Cena. I loved Peacemaker in The Suicide Squad. And when I heard he was getting his own series, I thought I might want to watch it because his character is so fun. And I heard nothing but good things about the series. So I do need to watch before season 2 comes out and they do the weird James Gunn retcon thing. Even whatever, I'm gonna watch it when I watch it. I love Peacemaker. I think he's really funny. I'm glad that they stuck with him being a funny character because I was really nervous that they were just gonna be straight laced Super Cena. Like, what do we do? I mean, he's gonna be bloody. It's a bloody game, but what? And it's so cool that we got the likeness and voice of John Cena. God, I love John Cena. I used to hate John Cena so much. Next up is Homelander. Now, this one's interesting because I think Homelander's a piece of shit. I've never seen The Boys. I know. Torches and pitchforks. I know. I've heard so many good things about The Boys. I really want to watch it. My wife and I, I'm really trying to get her to watch it with me, and she's like, I don't really care. I'm like, but there's so many good things in the show, and I want to watch it, please. I think Homelander's cool. You know, everyone's like saying the whole like, oh, he's just evil Superman. Yeah, it's cool that we got a character that could. We can kill Superman. We can kill evil Superman. We can kill the bad guy from The Boys. That's cool. Or play as the Homelander from The Boys and wreck shit. I mean, it's cool. I think he's a nice addition. It really, finally playing as him, I was like, yeah, okay, I can get behind this now. Leatherface. How is Leatherface for Mortal Kombat X? Bubba. How is Bubba? How is he? He's just a dude with a chainsaw. How is he? Because I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. I love the first one. That's one of my favorites. Probably my favorite horror movie of all time. That soundtrack. Oh my god. That noise it makes. Oh man. Every time I hear that, I'm like, that's such a perfect beat and perfect. Oh, it hits so good. And I just love seeing Leatherface. Him running out of the trees in that reveal trailer. I was like, I'm down. I get it. It's not that exciting. I'm down. I think horror movies, horror characters work so much better in Mortal Kombat than fucking 80s characters like fucking Rambo and Terminator, RoboCop, and superheroes like Homelander. And the next one on my list is Omni-Man. I like Omni-Man a lot more than Homelander. I have not seen Invincible. I know, torches and pitchforks. But it looks so fucking good. And I like how they made like a realistic version of Omni-Man. I just think he's so dope. He's just another Superman. But they play different. You know, they made a way. They found a way to make them both play different. That was my fear when they both were revealed. We're getting 2 evil Supermen. Why? Now I know. It's really cool. That's why. Next up is Jason Voorhees. MKX had like some dope, probably the best selection of guest characters. Jason Voorhees is slow as shit. Terminator is basically just a reskin of Jason Voorhees with a shotgun, and some other different kinds of powers. But Jason Voorhees has that machete, the body bag, so many good callbacks. I wish we got Jason X, a Jason X skin. That would have been sick. But it's just cool that we got Jason in Mortal Kombat. A couple years too late. What is that? 4 years when MKX came out? Because we really should have had Freddy vs. Jason in the game. We do get it in Mortal Kombat Mobile to an extent. It's not the same. But yeah, I love me some Jason. Love me some Friday the 13th. Alien is next up, the Xenomorph from Alien. Really like what they did with Alien. The storyline in this game is that Baraka, was impregnated by a face hugger, and out popped Tarkatan Xenomorph. Really cool. Um, really dope. Um, I think he plays really good. I don't know. Now, never seen any of the Alien movies. I know. I know. I know. Torches and pitchforks. I know. I gotta rectify that because I hear the first two are magnificent, and the third one exists, and the other ones are kind of and yeah. Speaking of mediocre series, here's Predator, the Yautja uh, species. I think that's what they're called. My wife loves Predator, so when they announced Predator, she was like, "Oh my god!" One of her many childhood boyfriends. She absolutely loves Predator, and so do I. I saw Alien versus Predator, so I did see Alien in a movie before. AVP's not particularly good, but it's fun. It's a fun popcorn movie. She and I have watched every single Predator movie to date, and I love all of them for different reasons. I don't think there's one that I'm like, that was garbage. I think every single one. Well, Alien versus Predator Requiem, or Alien versus Predators, or Aliens versus Predator, whatever it's called. Pretty terrible. Yes. Yes, my love. Making a video. What's up? What's up? Big hug.
I don't want to be alone in my room.
Well, I gotta finish this video and then I'll go get you. Okay.
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 What's that?
That's my friend. That's Jabari.
Hello.
Okay. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
I gotta finish this video. I love you.
Make sure you love animals.
Make sure you love animals.
Make sure you don't hunt them.
Don't hunt animals.
And don't cut trees.
Her nickname is Peter. Hey.
Excuse me?
Huh? I love you.
What's my nickname?
I said your nickname is Chipmunk. I love you. Go ahead. Go lay down.
Oh, no, but you call me Chipmunk.
I call her Chipmunk. Hey, go ahead. Go. I gotta finish this.
My nickname is Animal.
Her nickname is Animal. Yeah, just say bye, everybody, and get out of here. I'll be out there to get you. I love you.
This is my daddy.
This is my daughter. I love you. Bye.
Love my rainbow shirt.
Bye, brown eyes. I love you.
Bye.
My brown eye girl. Go.
Oh, go.
And I'll be in there for you shortly.
I'll see you, Dad.
I'll see you later.
Love you, Dad.
I love you.
Bye, everybody. Did I already say that?
You did.
Oh, just asking.
It's okay. So that's Predator. Love that character. One hand, I'm like, please get out, because I'm already like, I'm wasting time. I don't want this to be like a 3-hour video, but then I'm like, it kind of rejuvenated me a little bit. Energized. Next up is Freddy Krueger. He was in MK 2011, aka MK 9, aka Mortal Kombat. It's the reboot. Yeah, Freddy Krueger was announced, and I had mixed feelings. I laughed at one point, and then kind of got mad and understood why other people were getting mad. He was the final DLC character announced, and then it went back to happiness because I love the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I've seen damn near every movie with my wife, except Freddy vs. Jason. We're gonna work through the Friday the 13th movies eventually, and then combine at that crossroads, Freddy vs. Jason, and then we'll watch the bullshit remakes later on down the line. Speaking of bullshit remake, this is the bullshit remake version of Freddy Krueger. What is his name? Jackie Earl Haley. Is that his name? Yeah, I don't like that version. Upon watching it, whenever I do watch it, I think I'm gonna like appreciate it a little bit more, like his performance. I'd have seen clips and I'm like, okay, I see where they're going with it. But Robert Englund is the OG, and he really should have been like asked to be a part of this. I think they said he performs the laugh. He's the one that actually performed the laugh in the game. Double claws. He's pulled from the dream realm. He's pretty weak in the real world, but in Mortal Kombat he's actually kicking ass. He actually comes out of Shao Kahn's nightmare. Shao Kahn pulls him out of his nightmare, and then he's like, how about you serve me? And Freddy's like, fuck you. Eat shit and die. and then he gets a second glove, and then he's just like scratching people and shit. I like Freddy Krueger. That's why he's pretty high up on my list. Very biased, like I said. Spawn, the best MK 11 character, guest character that we got. It's crazy that we got Keith David back to reprise his role. God, I love Spawn so much, so much. I even like the movie back in the day, even though that's a pile of garbage. Not the fault of any of the actors, really. It's just the director. Um, though just the direction, just what I don't know what they were doing with that movie, but Spawn is so fucking dope, and he was in Soul Calibur as well. Um, so this makes his second fighting game appearance. Speaking of a Soul Calibur character, guest character that who was in Soul Calibur first and then came to Mortal Kombat, Kratos. He's the best guest character hands down. Very biased. I love God of War. They're going off of the God of War 3 Kratos, which means canonically God of War 1 and 2 happened. So this is God of War. This is like peak Kratos, peak God killer Kratos. Before he became a daddy and became bearded and became Norse and his voice changed. Um, and I've heard the discussion. They should bring him back and like have his new like with a new move set, and that'd be pretty interesting. If we want to see like a guest character come back, I would love to see Kratos come back. Um, he's like the only one that makes the most sense to me out of all these. I would like to see Jason back for what is that called? Selfish reasons. I would like Jason to come back and Freddy to come back, but have it be Robert Englund Freddy, and Jason just to get more iconic skins. Give me a Jason X skin. It's possible. It's in multiverses. Let's go. So yeah, Kratos. I love Kratos. This is gonna be weird because now we are going into actual characters. We are going into actual characters. But it's weird. Next up is Sergeant. Huh? Sergeant? What are you talking about? Yes, Sergeant. Sergeant is the character from Mortal Kombat Mobile. From Mortal Kombat Mobile. It started as MKX Mobile, and then it became just its own mobile game. And Sergeant is a character from that game, and he looks like a generic like villain in the game. Like he looks more villainous than heroic, but he's part of the special forces. He's got the tactical gear on and stuff, exposed face, so he can get stabbed with Scorpion's kunai through his fucking face, and that's what happens, and that's why he ranks so low. You got stabbed in the fucking face, canonically. You do not scare me, bro. After him is Monk. Because we don't have an explicit like death of a monk, like, and this is just such a like a nondescript. Monk is an old man. We've had monks throughout the entire franchise. This is the first time a monk has been playable. I don't know. It's like, and we're not. I should also say, we're not going to include anything from Mortal Kombat Onslaught. Like, I was playing Onslaught and I was like, oh my god, look at all these characters, these archers, and these, oh my god, there's so many characters. And then, like, the gameplay, I was like, oh yeah, this isn't a fighting game. Mortal Kombat Mobile is a fighting game. So yeah, that's why these characters count. Next up is Oni. Oni is not as generic. He has a really cool like facial structure, but the Oni are just demonic creatures that reside in the Netherrealm. We've had a lot of like mainline Oni characters. We've had two to be exact, but we've had Oni characters before. And as far as Oni goes, like just being called Oni, I mean, you're an NPC, bro. You're a soldier that's about to get wasted. You're a red shirt. That's what's gonna happen to you. He just ranks higher because I think based on appearance, yeah, he just looks really cool. Then we have Trooper, and I remember recording this video yesterday, and I was like, Trooper, why is Trooper so high? Trooper is a woman. Is a female special forces member. She has a beret, black beret, Kevlar vest, a bunch of other stuff. She's got black hair under her beret. I just think I like the potential of her story a lot more than the other ones. Monk, Oni. I like Trooper because like she's a human. I can relate to her more, I guess. Um, Kind of a weak argument, but whatever. Next up is Shirai Ryu. Shirai Ryu is the clan that Scorpion is a part of. They're the yellow ninjas. He's got some yellow. He's cloaked. Got the hood. He just looks like a ninja. I like this. I like the idea of a member of Scorpion's clan like having his own story. Someone other than Scorpion. I like that idea a lot for some reason. But I like Lin Kuei's story a lot better. Or I think it's his appearance mostly. He looks like a different version of Sub-Zero. He just looks badass. It's for similar reasons with Shirai Ryu. I like to think of it like there's a story there. But he's just, at the end of the day, a foot soldier. And it's just based on appearance. Lin Kuei's better because of the appearance. Then we have Oshtek. Oshtek is, I guess, the race that Kotal Khan comes from. They're not part of Kotal Khan's race, despite having this name. How do you know? Kotal Khan, he just looks different. Right? He could be just swole and godly and god-looking. I don't know. The Oshtek are sick. I like them. I like their potential as a race going forward. Let's hope that they make a return. Kotal specifically, but yeah, Oshtek. I like the idea of him. We're gonna go into some more weird territories. MK1, the recent one, Mortal Kombat 1, didn't really have new characters, like any new characters besides guest characters, so it was going to be tricky. And then there's like alternate versions of characters. The way they went about this is having some interesting NPC cameos and fighters. Cameos are these like little fucking characters that help you out. They're not actual playable characters. They just help out in battle. So I did count every story mode and kind of invasions as well. If it's in a unique cameo, a unique what have you, fighter. First up is Ice Elemental. Ice Elemental is Sub-Zero's cameo at one point. Bihan Sub-Zero. He has this ice person, this being made of ice, helping him out. So it's like he created this ice elemental to help him. I just think that's kind of sick. Then we have a fire elemental. Yes, baby.
No, hey Dad, you said you're gonna end the video.
No, I said I have to finish my video. I have to finish it.
Oh, I'm at Sissy's.
Yeah. She'll be here soon. Go ahead. And then I'll be right. I'll get you when I'm done with my video. I love you.
Oh, when are you finishing?
I don't know yet. It's gonna take longer if you stay in here. Can you go? Run.
I'm watching the Lego movie.
Copyright. I love you.
What?
Go.
What did you say that for?
Yeah, no reason.
What is copyright?
It means I can get
What is that?
fireworks. It sounds like. Go ahead, grab your tab and go to the room, baby.
It's creepy.
I love you, baby girl. Close the doors. Then we have a fire elemental.
I forgot one thing.
Hug. I love you too.
I want to taste the coffee.
Okay, go ahead, take a sip, dude. Thank you. Okay. I know it's
I
cheap.
taste sus.
Taste sussy baka. Sussy buku.
Sissy boo.
I love you. Okay, go.
Okay, done.
Love you. Bye, baby. Go.
My
I'll come.
butt is itchy.
Okay, we'll go scratch your butt somewhere else.
It's good.
Okay, love you.
Love you.
Fire elemental is the being that Kuai Liang's scorpion makes, and we'll get more into that later on. Kuai Liang is the younger Sub-Zero in the original timeline. In the new Mortal Kombat 1, he's Scorpion. He makes a being of fire. I just think fire, will melt ice. I just think stronger based on that. And it just looks cooler, I guess. When I was recording this video, we go to another fire elemental character later on down the line, and I'm like, oh, why is fire higher than ice then? Because it's just the same character. I don't know. Tarkatan Fighter. I think this character only ranks higher because of the fact that you fight them. They're an actual fighter. They're just the Tarkatan race that Baraka's a part of. So they're just like a lesser Baraka, skinnier, sicklier. We got the Tarkatan clone after the Tarkatan Fighter. The Tarkatan clone is again it's just a Tarkatan, right? I like the implications of like the clone. Shang Tsung is cloning more Tarkatans to create like his own little army or whatever. I like that. This is a really, really, really weird one. I know we've been saying that a lot. I've been saying that a lot. Not we. Sorry, I didn't mean to like implicate you or anything. It's really weird because this character doesn't exist. This character is in a film within the game. Temple of Kataravala. It is. I guess the title would be called Illinois Johnny in the Temple of Kataravala, which is a play on Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. Very Indiana Jones inspired. The outfit, everything, the setting. Adam is his like backup. He's like there just to help him out. He's kind of the scared, chubby, fat guy. He's a cameo though. He starts throwing punches and he does all that kind of stuff. In the film, in the plot of the film, we are in like the final act when you're about to take on Kataravala, the titular Kataravala. And Adam sadly perishes in the lava. He's thrown in the lava, his face melts off. It's really gory and sad and depressing for being not real. I was too invested. I like to think because he is a cameo, and this is a weird little unique bubble in this ranking. I like to think that there is a universe, a dimension, whatever, what have you, an alternate dimension where Temple of the Temple of Kataravala, fuck ever, is real, is like actually happening in the Mortal Kombat spectrum somehow, not just a film, actually happening, so that Adam is somehow real. That's my little mental gymnastics there. The next character is from the same movie. It's Kali Ma. Another Temple of Doom reference. The Kali Ma are Kataravala's henchwomen. They're succubuses, succubi, succu hello. They're Nitara. They're reskins of Nitara, and it's pronounced both ways, isn't it? Nitara. I usually say Nitara. They're vampires, and I fucking love vampires. I fuck with them, and they don't perish in lava like Adam does, and they're not like scared, quivering pussies. So Kali Ma goes above Adam. His name's Adam. Kataravala is like a reskinned Havoc. Looks like the OG Havoc, which I really, really loved, really dug. Because the Havoc that we got in MK1 is a travesty. So I would have much preferred to have like OG Havoc, the real Havoc. And this is not my Havoc. Hashtag not my Havoc. Kataravala is cool. He's the villain, the main antagonist. When I was recording the last video, and even before I recorded the video, I was dabbling with this idea. But if all of these characters in this movie were taking at face value, then we got to put Illinois Johnny on here too as a character. Johnny Cage is playing this character. We know this, yes, but Illinois Johnny in this film is his own character. he just fights like Johnny Cage. Um, and later on, we'll discuss more how this kind of impacts, what my theory on like how Temple of Kataravala could be its own thing as well. Um, yeah, Illinois Johnny. He's the hero. He's basically Indiana Jones but cockier. I don't think he's really that cocky. He has one-liners. He shows emotion. I don't know. I think he's pretty cool. Super Tarkatan. I had to put Super Tarkatan this high up, even above Illinois Johnny, because and Super Tarkatan's real. In MK versus DC, Shang Tsung experiments with the Tarkatan race and Captain Marvel's powers, granting them these powers, the Tarkatans, and turning them into Super Tarkatans. Extra buff. They have like these really crazy powers. This is like a callback to that. However, they don't have powers. They're just big buffers, swoller, gargantuan barakas. And that's pretty fucking sick, honestly. I gotta be real here. That's why Super Tarkatan is so high on this list. Next up is Saurian. We are not done with MK Mobile. I mean, we are now. This is the last MK Mobile original character. How did a character from MK Mobile rank above all these other characters? Saurian? What's so impressive about Saurian? You have to understand, Reptile is like the last member for a long time of his race. And then also Chameleon, both the chameleons. I guess they're siblings. I came to a lot of realizations in the last recording of this. I was like, I guess I can. Yeah, they could be siblings. That makes more sense than them being like lovers or anything else. That's why the Saurian series, the Saurian race is dying out. So what's so impressive about Saurian? Like I said, reptile, chameleon, and chameleon. That's it. So we have a new Saurian character, and it's got red accents right here, black scales. Looks pretty fucking sick. The red is a giveaway for me that this and mind you, this character doesn't show up in MKX's storyline or in the comic books. So who the fuck is this guy? I think it's a callback to the Red Dragon doing experiments on Reptile. This is one of their creations, and I really like that a lot. It's really cool. Just my little own headcanon there. Next up is Meat. Meat is a joke character. He's just a reskin of other characters from Mortal Kombat 4. Isn't even called Meat in the video games. To the point where people were debating, is he real or is he a joke character? Why can't joke characters be real characters at the same time? Like Dan Hibiki in Street Fighter is a joke character, but he exists in the canon. Like he's not non-canon because he's funny and jokey. No, he exists. So why can't Meat? Meat is a joke, a big fat fucking joke, and he sucks. He comes back in Armageddon. Like, we don't see him from 4, so we don't see him in Deadly Alliance, Deception. He only returns to Armageddon because they're bringing back all the fighters. And he now has flesh. He now has more flesh over his bones. He has an eyeball hanging out. He's just dumb and goofy, and I don't respect him at all. Next up is Shinnok. The clone of Shinnok. Now, a lot of people are going to probably argue about this fact. Shinnok is a clone in Armageddon. That's not been confirmed. Listen, come on now. In the ending, it's revealed, in Shinnok's arcade ending, that he actually cloned himself because he can't leave the Netherrealm after his defeat in Mortal Kombat 4. So what does he do? He clones himself so that he's kind of represented there. And then when he wins in his arcade storyline, he gets the power, and then the original Shinnok is like, hey, wait a second. Like, I didn't think this one through. Now I gotta kind of fight you, my clone. What is up with my eyebrows? Are they even or what the fuck? I'm like stuck on looking at these things. Next up is Collector. Shinnok the clone ranks pretty low because he's a fucking clone. He's in one game and he dies. Canonically. Collector. This feels like a roster filler character. Like they were just trying to find a new character. Let's put him in. Here you go. It's a new species. I don't even know what the fuck he is. Nor do I care. Honestly, I really shouldn't even be looking it up. He's a guy that collects things, and his name is Collector. That's fucking stupid. He's now like the shopkeep person. What is his? The Nakanata. He's an NPC serving as a shopkeeper in the game's invasion mode. Serving as a minor antagonist. Yeah, he's a very minor antagonist. He does not matter. I hate this guy. I gotta be honest. I think he's stupid. Next up is Blaze. So I do these polls, not ranking, but asking who's the better combatant. It's pretty funny right now. It's really taken a drastic turn that I did not expect to see. This is I did Blaze, and then I was like, if I'm going off of like the whole a character that turns mindless and kind of like has to do their own thing, it's got to be Blaze, right? Blaze as a boss in Armageddon has to be separate from Blaze, the character that we get in Deadly Alliance and in Mortal Kombat Unchained. So the boss technically is more important because he is the bringer of Armageddon. Whoever kills him gets immense power. It really should be. You know, he's the main driving force of the story. Kind of like a Dark Khan situation. He looks goofy as hell, but he is the main threat. He's just so stupid. Like he just exists to die. That's it. He was. He was. And after him is Blaze. Blaze isn't any better. I didn't mention this in my last recording, but in Mortal Kombat 2, in the background, there are two fighters on the pit 2 stage. In the background, they're fighting, and one of them is just on fire, just a being of fire. That a lot of people call it Torch, and they were thinking about calling him Torch, but then that would be like copyright for Human Torch, so they called him Blaze, which I think is just fine. But what does he do? What's his story? He doesn't have one. He was tasked with guarding the egg of Onaga. I really like this. I really like this whole retcon, this reasoning for why he's fighting that person on the bridge. That person, who has been affectionately named Hornbuckle, is one of the cult members that are trying to protect the egg, and they enslave Blaze to protect the egg, surrounded by a pool of lava. Blaze can exist within that lava. If anyone tries to fuck with the egg, he comes out and he can kill them. That's cool. That's a cool story. And then after after Onaga is resurrected, he goes about his mission. He's been without his mission. He has to figure out again what he was meant to do. He's kind of developed anxiety because of all this shit. Anxiety, amnesia. Same difference, right? He's kind of developed amnesia, and then he remembers. I know what to do. Shijinko kind of might have told him. I think he just remembers what to do, or he knows what to do, but he's just a slave until his mission's done. And then he goes after. He goes after the what's it called? He becomes the boss that dies. It's kind of dumb. Next up is Mocap. Mocap is a character, a guy in a motion capture suit. Layla. Really? Layla, come on now. Layla, I told you twice now.
Yeah, but Dad, I don't know if I could be alone in the room.
Then go in the living room and watch something. Watch something for a little bit. Okay, I love you. I told you I'll come get you when I'm done.
Hey, Dad. Is it fine for playing game?
As long as you don't get mad at it.
I know what kind of game that you play. The Lego game?
Don't play any missions. I love you. I'll be out there in a second. Um, Mocap. Mocap is a guy in a motion capture suit. Huh?
I need a light. I'm creeped.
Just go turn on the light.
Okay.
Yeah, go out there. I love you.
No, but I need this light.
Yeah, that's fine. Close the door.
Alright. Love you, Dad.
Love you. Third time's a charm, I swear. Mocap. Guy in a motion capture suit. Fuck. He's a nice tribute to Carlos Pacena, who's been with the series since day one. Love that man, but holy shit, Mocap is a joke of a character. I have this headcanon where Mocap has been a friend of Johnny's forever, has always worked in like the film industry, and then with with motion capture becoming much more prevalent, becomes a motion capture artist, stuntman person. He's a really good fighter, but like just kind of a goofy dude. And then when they combine, see, I don't even know what I'm fucking talking about now. The headcanon's stupid. It's a reach. He's just a guy who ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, how the fuck did I get here? And then in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, he gets powers. He's finally chosen as an Earthrealm, one of Earthrealm's chosen warriors, which is stupid and forced and dumb, and I don't care about him. If they do that retcon where he's like, friends with Johnny from day one, that'd be pretty cool, Shit, make Adam Mocap, the actor that plays Adam. He'd be pretty fitting. Next up is Chameleon, with a K, the female Chameleon, because men are better than women, as we've already established with Wonder Woman being so low that I mentioned earlier. I'm obviously joking. Please don't take that seriously. I actually think Chameleon goes above Chameleon now. The woman goes on top, because she's actually in. Okay, so interesting backstory. Chameleon, the male, is lower now. I'm gonna say that. Chameleon is lower because he can do. I think he was higher because he has more powers because he's like every ninja in one. That's pretty cool. But he's just been like a background, like he was a hidden fighter, and then he returned in Armageddon. What's interesting about Chameleon with a K, the woman, the female, that damn female, she was a Nintendo exclusive for years. Let me explain. In Mortal Kombat Trilogy, that one's when Chameleon with a C, there we go, made his debut. This is a K. Fuck. He was on the PlayStation version and like the other versions, Saturn or whatever. Nintendo 64 didn't have a lot of cartridge space, so in order to fit all the characters on there, like they already didn't have a lot of space to work with, but Nintendo 64 restricted even more so that they were like, okay, instead of a male Chameleon, they'll get a female Chameleon because there are far less female ninjas. There are only 3: Katana, Melina, and Jade. So here's Chameleon. There you go. When Armageddon came out initially for the PS2 and Xbox, they were like, a lot of fans that were like, "Where's Chameleon?" And Midway was like, "What are you talking about? He's right there." No, the other Chameleon with a K, and the backlash and outrage was so loud. It was kind of like Melina with MK11. It was so loud that they were like, okay, we'll put Chameleon in the Wii version, and here she is in the Wii version. So the Wii version is actually the most complete version of Armageddon. Weirdly enough, oddly enough, has every single character ever, and she was a Nintendo exclusive, but now with MK1, she's a cameo, and she's confirmed finally to be a part of the reptilian Saurian race. She's a member of the Umgadi tribe. I mean, they've given her like actual story. She hasn't talked yet, but like, it's still pretty cool that they're giving her something to do. So after Chameleon with a C and then with a K, comes Trimmer. I really like Trimmer. Trimmer is a Black Dragon member of the Black Dragon. He used to be in the Lin Kuei. He is a got earth-based, rock-based powers. He looks like a buff brown scorpion in his debut in Special Forces, and then he became an actual fighter in Mortal Kombat X. I was so excited, but the way they changed him was odd because he didn't look like a ninja anymore. He was a cloaked figure with rock. Just he's a fucking rock, and I thought that was pretty neat. And he's buff as fuck, and he's cool, and doesn't really do anything in the story because he's a DLC character, but just cool that they put him in there. I love all the MK Special Forces characters, all the members. No Face, Tazia, um, you know, Kano's the boss. So I like all of them. Trimmer just needs more of a story to put him up higher because he doesn't really do anything in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, like I said, No Face, Tazia, Trimmer. Jarek is the next one on our list. Jarek is so far down this list because he's a fucking joke. In MK4, they did a lot of like characters that were reminiscent of old characters. Like Tanya is a replacement for Katana. Kai is kind of a replacement ish for Kung Lao, but not really. I guess Fujin can also be like a replacement for Kung Lao, even though he's a god. Um, Kai is just another. I mean, a lot of them are a stretch, but if there's any character that you can really argue is a replacement for someone, it's fucking Jarek because he's just Kano without the cybernetic eye. And he's the last remaining member of the Black Dragon that we know of at this point. And he gets thrown to his fucking death and dies. And then we don't see him until Armageddon, where he becomes a shameless Movado clone. What a quivering pussy. Fuck you, Jarek. I hate you. You suck. And I used to like Jarek in MK4 and MK Special Forces. He reminded me of George Clooney, specifically the from Dusk Till Dawn, George Clooney. I thought he would play like an excellent Jarek. Um, Next up is Kintaro. Oh, the wasted potential. Right, Fourth Snake. God, Kintaro is a lesser Goro. After Mortal Kombat 1, we had the impressive Goro. In MK2, we had the arguably more impressive Kintaro. Just this giant fucking beast. He has tiger stripes now, so he's half tiger and half dragon, half whatever the fuck. He's a quarter. He's fuck. He's 1/3 tiger, 1/3 human, 1/3 dragon. I guess I don't know how it works. He's a big old fluffy kitty boy, and he shows up and he gets beat, and then he shows up in a trilogy, and as far as we know, fucking dies, fucking gets killed because the next time we see him, he and Shiva are both resurrected by Shinnok to be jobbers in Armageddon. Just oh, how the mighty have fallen. And then in the new timeline, he's only in MK9, and then we don't see him again. I don't know if he dies in the comic. I can't remember. He's that forgettable. Poor Kintaro, and he's not in the new timeline yet. So we'll see how that pans out. But man, wasted potential. Next up is Havoc. Also known as, in this timeline, Dairu. Very weird. MK1 made their Havoc, who is a way lesser version of the original timelines, the first timelines, Havoc, and in the alternate timeline too, because Havoc shows up in there as well in a lot of endings and stuff. He does exist. They decided to make Dairu Havoc. Why? What's the point? What purpose does it serve to blend these two stories together? It really doesn't make any fucking sense. It's stupid and dumb, and I fucking hate it. And he's just such a pussy. Like, fuck you, Havoc, Dairu. Next up is Serena. Serena is another wasted potential. She debuts in Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero as a sub-boss. I don't think you can kill her sisters, Jataka and Kia, but you can perform a fatality on her. If you choose not to do so, which is canon to the story, um, she helps you in your fight against Quan Chi. And then she is killed by Shinnok. She doesn't actually die. She's just sent back to the Nether Realm. I mean, I guess she dies, but she's sent back to the Nether Realm. And she's kind of just hiding out from the Brotherhood of Shadow for years until her debut in a fighting game, a very odd debut, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance Tournament Edition for the Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance. Um, so weird. Serena Serena becomes she could have been a great love interest for Bihan. Um, it's weird. Like I said, with her debut, doesn't really do much except like talk to Kuai Liang and talk about how she loved his brother, and like he was a good man, and then like hint at being evil for some reason. They could have even done a storyline where Bihan becomes Noob Saibot. Spoiler alert for anyone that didn't know that somehow. Um, Noob Saibot is like the leader of the Brotherhood of Shadow. They could have had a whole like this dynamic explored, and they don't do that. I get there's so many characters, but I'm like, and then in Armageddon, her first console debut, everyone dies, so doesn't do much. She kind of shows up in MKX, has some kind of story there. That's kind of cool. Helping the heroes, NPC, and then in Mortal Kombat MK1, she's a cameo, and it seems like really depressing. She's a villain, and she's bad, and she's working for Quan Chi. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I hate it. And I think they've kind of retconned Ashura to be sisters with all the three of them, Serena, Kia, and Jataka. Um, but that's cool. That's cool. Next up is Su Hao. I was an MK apologist big time. Case in point, Zombie Liu Kang that we mentioned. I didn't think it was that dumb of an idea when it first came out. What are you talking about? A lot of these characters. I mean, I think back in the day, if MK1 would have been released, I would have been totally fine with them mixing Havoc and Dairu. I would have even like blinked twice. I'd be like, oh yeah, cool, that makes sense. It doesn't at all. It's fucking stupid. Su Hao was one of those characters where I was like, I don't understand why people hate him. Now we mentioned earlier, Collector was just like a roster filler. That's all he is. Su Hao was actually a roster filler that the entire like as they're creating him, they're like, we hate this character. He is so he's so shitty. We don't like him to the point where they killed him horrifically in his first game. I like his backstory. So he was originally supposed to be called Kublai Khan, an descendant of Genghis Khan. So no relation to Shao Kahn, but Genghis Khan. He has Mongol, fucking DNA, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know what race that would be a part of now. He's an Asian dude, and then he he fucking he fucking blows up the special forces. So I like to think that Kublai Khan's his like fake name, and like it's a conversation starter. He's like, yeah, I just like to be called Kublai. I don't like to make a big deal about it or whatever. And then his real name just being Su Hao, much less, like like uh less scary, less intimidating. His real name's Su Hao, and then he blows up the fucking special forces building. That's pretty impressive. But then later on in the game, Jax gets revenge and rips his fucking chest implant out of his, like, just horrible, and he's dead. Yeah, he's a big old chest implant. I've always wondered how is he undercover if he has a giant fucking chest implant, and why does he have it? Like, what's going on? And why do they give it to Kano? It's not as big, but still. Um, he then comes back. He's resurrected by Shinnok as well. Also, like alongside Jarek, um, Shiva, and Kintaro that we just talked about. He's resurrected, I think, by him as well. And again, he dies horrifically. Even if you win the game, his Armageddon ending results in him being like getting killed too somehow, or something happens to him. It's really bad. And then in the next timeline, he gets killed horrifically. He hasn't in this new timeline yet, but just be patient. It'll happen. They hate Su Hao. Cyber Smoke. Heads up, I am counting cyber characters separately from main characters. It goes back into my argument that if your humanity's been stripped from you, you are new. You're a new character. You're a new person. Cyber Smoke is new because um, Human Smoke, Tomas Verbata, has been his humanity has been taken from him, and it's very sad. Very unique in the cyber characters that his human side and his cyber side kind of like do battle in his head at one point. That results in him getting hurt. What's up? You for real right now?
Hey, Dad, I can't. I only got 2 statues. I'm trying to get the other 3.
I'll be out there.
Okay.
I have to finish this video.
Alright.
You're making it longer.
How long is this?
It's very long.
Wow.
I love you. I'm trying to finish it up.
Okay.
Okay. Love you, baby. Go have fun. Go do your best.
What is that?
I said go have fun. Go do your best. Love you.
I thought you said bed. Love you, Daddy.
Love you.
This is the last time I see get in here, okay? Love
Okay.
You, bye.
I'm gonna hold you to that. I love you. Cyber Smoke is LK. Nothing. Cyber Smoke is LK 7T2, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's that one. I'm not gonna even look it up. They do battle in his head to the point where he becomes like just a husk, a metal scrap heap in the dungeon of Shao Kahn's fortress. During the events of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Noob Saibot goes down there and finds it and is like, okay. And then resurrects him, turns him back on. And it's Noob Smoke for Deadly Alliance. They're like Onaga's sub-bosses. Pretty interesting idea and concept, but he just becomes a lackey to Noob Saibot. And then in Armageddon, they all die. The next time we see Cyber Smoke, I think would kind of bring him up slightly, is that he appears as one of the amalgamated characters in the Armageddon segment of MK1. He's not really an amalgamated character. He's just an alternate, Smoke, who happens to be like a Titan that beat Kronika and has like the power of the hourglass or something. It's cool. It's a cool idea that could be explored. Motaro is pretty low in this list. Another character, wasted potential. He's this giant Centaurian. He's a centaur. That's basically what they are. The favored race of Shao Kahn. He loves them so much. The Shao Kahn and Centaurians are bitter enemies because they both fight for the affection and love and affection of Shao Kahn. And Motaro gets his shit rocked in MK3. He doesn't die. So in my original ranking, he died. When I was talking about the ranking, he died, but he doesn't die. He's knocked unconscious by Shiva. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, he's knocked unconscious, not killed. I don't think she kills him. Here, I'll look this up real quick. But anyway, whether he does or not, he gets knocked out by Shiva between Mortal Kombat MK3 and the events of MK Deadly Alliance, MK Armageddon. He doesn't return until Armageddon. Now, here's why he ranks so far low down my ranking. Not only does he get fucking ganked by this. She assumed that she had killed him. Okay, so she beat the shit out of him and he didn't die. Okay, so during Shao Kahn's absence, they thought the Deadly Alliance killed him. There's actually a clone of Shao Kahn. There's a lot of clones in this series. especially now. But it's weird that it happened twice in the OG timeline. Mataro, his race is um, put. They have a spell put on them by a Shokani witch from the Shokan race, from a Shokan witch, turning them from Centaurians to Minotaurians. They're not actually called that, but they're basically turned into Minotaurs. And I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest right now. In Armageddon, Mataro goes hard. He looks fucking dope. He looks so sick. He plays really well. I'm all in favor of the two-legged Mataro. That's how we have to like play as him. Um, in MK9, famously, almost every character comes back. So many classics. Mataro shows up, and in the original timeline, Shao Kahn's extermination squads, which are Centaurians, kill Johnny Cage. It's so fucked up. In the new timeline, Raiden stops Mataro from doing that with, no, and flies and gets him. And one shot kills him. Literally, like the next time we see him, he's laying down dead, mouth agape, sad looking. And they're like, I can't believe he killed Mataro. Like, what? Wow, that's crazy. So it just made him more of a joke. But he is in MK1 as a cameo. He actually has implications in the story. He's working alongside Reiko for General Khan, right? Is it General? It's General Shao. Yeah, I really like Mataro. I'm glad that they're giving him more of a chance, especially story wise. Even if he is just like a kind of a background character. I love Mataro. I wish he was higher, but we can't really do that. Hataru, and a lot of these are ranked low because of them only being in a few games. But Hataru made a big splash with his debut. He's from the realm of Sato, which is the Order realm, the realm of Order. He works for the Satan Guardsmen. I could make a cop joke right now. Fucking narc. All that kind of shit. A cab. But Hataru, these are like the baddest of the bad apples. They're terrible. Like, just imagine just martial law, just you complete. That's the realm of Order. Everything seems so nice and clean cut, and just everything's so manicured perfectly. Ooh, it's so symmetrical, so great. You fuck up your routine. You sneeze, like anything happens. Spears out. Nope, you're going to jail. Let's go. Like, what? It's crazy. And Hataru really has a skewed version of Order in his head. For example, in the storyline of Conquest for Mortal Kombat, he is asked by Shujinko. Shujinko's the main character. Shujinko asks him, "Can you help me with the walled city of Lei Chin in Outworld? They really need a sense of order brought to them." And Hataru was like, "That's my specialty." He goes there. Shujinko returns years later to see how his good friend Hataru is doing, because Shujinko is technically also like an honorary Satan Guardsman. He does so many things. He's a man of many hats. He returns, and Hataru's like, whoa, state your business. What are you doing here? You're outside after curfew. That's what it was. I think it's a curfew. He's like, you're outside curfew. He's like, what? I just got here. I didn't know about a curfew. And they're like, too bad. You should have known. Off to prison. For years, he remains in prison. And Hataru knows him. That's wild. There's a whole like feud with that. And then Hataru famously backs Onaga, the Dragon King, the bad guy. Why would someone who is so righteous and cares about order and law and order, dum 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 dum, why would he back someone so evil and villainous? That people who care about law and order don't do that. They don't do that. That's not what happens. That doesn't sound like justice is being served. something to think about, something to chew on. I really like Hataru. I think he's a very complex character, and I think there's so much potential for more Sado, for more Order Realm. Chaos Realm, we've already got. Sure, we could explore more of that as well. I do love some chaotic goodness, but Order Realm is really where it's at. Like I think there's so much more potential there too. Speaking of, we got Dairu coming back. Dairu, in the original timeline, was a Satan guardsman, and his wife and his son, I believe, it was one of the. It could be both. It could be one or the other. It definitely was his wife. His family's killed, and evidence points to a fellow Satan guardsman. Now, when they confront this said Satan guardsman and try him or whatever, he gets off. Fuck that, Dairu says, and kills the other Satan guardsman, resulting in him being imprisoned. And then he's broken out by a rebel that we will get to later, and he joins the rebellion for a little bit, and then he goes off to be a fucking mercenary. I like Dairu a lot. I think there is some potential there for to go further. They really wanted to make him a character in Deadly Alliance. I didn't mention that in the last recording of this. They really wanted to push for him to be a character. They were like, we need to do something with him, and they kind of forced it. But I do like his story a lot. I do respect it. I don't like this new Dairu at all. Please, old Dairu, come back and save us, please. Old Dairu and old Havoc for the win. Have them come back and murder this new Havoc Dairu, because I don't see any fucking potential for this guy. This guy fucking sucks. Corrupted Shinnok. Kind of like with Blaze and Dark Khan, Shinnok gets a boss character that I have to count as a separate character. He is this giant demonic beast of a man. He's the main boss, but hilariously gets his shit rocked in his only game that he's appeared in as Corrupted Shinnok by Johnny Cage's daughter, Cassie Cage. Cassie Cage, like father, like daughter. She's like the new main character. A lot of people cried plot armor. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was great. Corrupted Shinnok looked like a big quivering pussy after getting his shit rocked like that. He's only Shinnok got his shit rocked. He's only up this high because like his design is really cool. Cyber Sub-Zero. Cyber Sub-Zero only appears in one game as well. I do like the idea of an ice cyber character. The way they went about it is really dumb as fuck. So Kuai Liang Sub-Zero, Bihan Sub-Zero still dies. I think it would have been interesting to have Bihan still be Sub-Zero, not get killed. Raiden actually changes the timeline. It was a nice lesson to show us that just because he's having visions doesn't mean he can change everything or anything at all. But the Cyber Sub-Zero aspect, the Cyber Sub-Zero aspect is very quite odd because I think it would have been cool to have like a Bihan and then Kuai Liang, or vice versa. Kuai Liang and then Bihan be cybernetic. They save Smoke in this timeline, but they don't save Sub-Zero. And it's not even the fact that they don't save Sub-Zero; it's that they don't save him. Like it should have happened in front of a bunch of people. But then Raiden was like, "No, let him cook." Like, what? Save his ass. Save him. What? And I can kind of let that go a little bit. It's such a dumbass storyline. Such a dumbass story mode in general. A horrible story, in my opinion. But Cyber Sub-Zero, I do like the idea of. If it would have happened like so, it's like in the Living Forest where they try to get Smoke and they fight off the cybernetic Lin Kuei, and then it's in front of in Shao Kahn's stadium, in his arena, in front of a bunch of Outworld people. They show up to take Sub-Zero after he wins a fight, I think. Like, he wins a fight and they show up and they're like, we got him. The fuck? Cyber Sub-Zero is evil for like a millisecond and then he's beaten and then they reprogram him to be good. And then we have like the Cyber Sub-Zero Noob Saibot fight to see fight fight to see both brothers now changed opposite. It's pretty cool. But then he's one shot killed by Sindel, as so many characters are, and then he's never Cyber again. He is a Revenant. It would have been cool to see like a Revenant Cyber Sub-Zero. We only see that in the comics for a little bit, and then Quan Chi's like, "I must render you flesh again," and he rips the cybernetics off of him, very painful, and then like restores him to a human being, very painfully. And then when he's brought back to being human, he's human. He's no longer a revenant, because you can do that with the revenants. Um, just quite a lot of them are not granted the same story, the same good ending. Um, but yeah, that's the end of Cyber Sub Zero. Except it's not. Triborg is the next one on the list. A new character to MKX. Very interesting. The cybernetic Lin Kuei had an idea to have this one cyborg be able to have the fighting styles and memories and all kinds of things of several different cybers. They only have 4 cartridges though. 3 of them Cyrax Sector Smoke, but they also have Cyber Sub Zero. So Triborg is actually Quadborg, but Triborg sounds cooler. Um, and I like the idea of him being like the leader of a new Lin Kuei or Takunin, but we really don't have much to go off of. So it's really just based on like the idea and appearance alone. But I think he would have been really dope. I wish like he would have appeared in MK11 alongside Frost. That would have been cool. Like a big reveal, like you think he's the leader, and then boop, it's Frost. Hello, like whoa, that'd been sick. Or them just working together. Um, Cobra. This one's really interesting. This is when I started to fall asleep. And I had to like stop the video not too long afterwards. Mm. Cobra is stupid. I really think that Ed Boon was really trying to like do something with Street Fighter. Like I think he's been trying to do like an MK versus Street Fighter, which I think would be dope. Honestly, being a '90s kid, growing up with the whole like MK versus Street Fighter debate, that would be sick to see that. Have an MK versus SF where people can die and be bloody, and then have a Street Fighter cross Mortal Kombat where it's not so bloody. It's just plays like Capcom, Street Fighter. It'd be cool. They did that with Tekken. Why not? And like I know mixed reception. I love Tekken. I thought it was cool, and I really wish they would have gone ahead and did a Tekken cross Street Fighter. The Tekken version. We kind of got that with Akuma and Tekken 7, but not fully realized, unfortunately. For like a whole Street Fighter thing. I guess it's kind of like canon to both stories now somehow. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't tell you what's going on with Tekken. I love Tekken, but anyway, we got kind of off track there. The reason why I think that he was really pulling for Street Fighter at this time when he was making MK Deception, and like maybe the thought of guest characters or whatever, is that Cobra's original name was Ken Masters. His alternate is like a red gi, or I guess you can like recolor him as I think no, it's not an alternate, but you could easily picture him in like the red gi. He's got blonde hair. He looks like his beta name was Ken Masters. It's very telling, and I love picturing Ed Boon going up to like Capcom and being like, so let me run this idea by you, and they were like, fuck no, because the 3D era was horrible. The 3D era played so sluggish. No way are we gonna let you use our characters in these fucking games. So he was like, well, shit, what do we do with this character? Well, make him a Street Fighter. So Cobra is a Street Fighter. And this also dawned on me. I did not think about this. Cabal makes the Black Dragon. Kind of, we'll get to that in a second. Cabal makes the new Black Dragon. Cobra, and then the next person on my list is Kira. Cabal, Cobra, and Kira. Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And they're all white, too. Oh, shit. That dawned on me recording it yesterday. I was like, oh, no, that's bad. Cobra's a bitch. I think he likes Kira. Has feelings for her, and Kira does not really reciprocate those, and just uses him kind of. But also, he kind of is secretly trying to use her as well. They're both always just at each other's throats, and I think they're kind of a romantic coupling in the alternate timeline, the second timeline. Um, I don't know. I think Cobra sucks. I think he's dumb. Kira, however, I feel like has more potential, even though she is literally female Kano. Um, she's um, pretending to be. She's impersonating an Afghani man, a terrorist, in a cave in Afghanistan, selling weapons. He's an arms dealer, and she gets found out somehow and kills her way out, like cuts her way out of there, killing everybody in sight. Big explosion. She gets out of there, and who is waiting for her outside but Havoc, Cabal, and Cobra? You pass the test. Come on, like you're Black Dragon. And she was probably like, "That's fucking dope." She probably heard all about the Black Dragon. Cobra probably has no fucking clue. He probably heard about the Black Dragon before, but at this point, Black Dragon is dead. Been long dead. Hey, I'm putting together a team. Black Dragon. Huh, that'd be pretty cool. I'm not doing anything else but fighting people to the death in the streets. Um, so yeah. Then, we've been talking a lot about this character, Havoc. Havoc is chaotic boy. He dips his French fries in ice cream. He is a mad lad. I love Havoc. I think he's really cool. The cleric of chaos. He just wants to fuck everything up. His whole driving force, he's the reason why the Black Dragon is reforming. He reminds Cabal of who he used to be. How dare he let anyone, treat him the way he's been treated. Fight back, bring back the Black Dragon, get some new recruits, some young, fresh blood. And hey, while we're at it, how about we just, kill Onaga and let me have his heart, please? And he takes his whole purpose of killing Onaga and taking his heart is that his heart has resurrecting properties. They can resurrect people. In fact, Onaga does this in the storyline to Katana, Sonya, Johnny Cage, Jax, and Kung Lao. I think those are the five. His whole purpose is to get his heart and resurrect Shao Kahn. Hilariously, Shao Kahn isn't actually dead; it's his clone. So he would be, in fact, resurrecting a clone. But whatever. I think he would get a kick out of that. I think he'd think that's hilarious. He's like Mortal Kombat's Joker. He's just, some people just want to watch the world burn. He dies. MKX. The second timeline, there's a lot of MK11, MK. I think in MKX he does play a role in the story mode, in the story of the comic book. Holy fuck, story mode in the comic book. Finally we got him back, and it's fucking this Havoc Dairu dumb bitch. It's so stupid. So yeah, that's Havoc. We then move on to Kai. Wasted potential right here. He's debuts in MK4. He's a member of the White Lotus Society, the Temple of the Word of the Light. He's a new Shaolin monk, man. He's a black dude. We need more representation, man. This is cool, Interesting storyline, a lot of cool stuff. Kai doesn't really. So he, at the end of the story of Mortal Kombat, he's given Raiden's lightning staff, and he's like, "You want to go on this journey, discover yourself? Take my lightning staff." Okay. And then he has a very long journey where we don't know what the fuck happens. And then next time we see him, he doesn't have Raiden's lightning staff, because in the very next game, Raiden has his lightning staff back. So it's like he came back and was like, "Hey, I need my staff back." And then, good luck on your journey, peace. And then Kai shows up in Armageddon just to die. It's really shitty, but I do like he's a winner. He's on the winning side. I also take that into account. A lot of these have to do with like wins and losses in the story mode. Um, in the story. Hey, baby. What? What?
You want out there with Layla?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you keep it unlocked? Or did I have it unlocked then for you?
No, it was. She had to do the slider.
Oh, you could have texted me or something.
Live, so.
No, I'm not live. I'm just recording a video.
Oh, whatever.
All right, I love you. I was about to say, it's Kai and then Stryker, Curtis Stryker, just a chubby little cop guy from Mortal Kombat 3. I really loved Stryker as a kid. He is a goofy character. He's just a cop. We talked about cops before and joked about him before. Just a donut, fucking license and registration, please. He's not a cop. He's a SWAT team officer. Who gives a? You're the same fucking person. Who cares? You are a rank above. Who cares? Literally, who cares? He does a noble thing. He's on the winning side in MK3. We don't see him. I had a headcanon that he was hit by a car and rendered comatose until about Deception, and then he woke up and was like, "I gotta get swole again and help out my friends in Earthrealm." No, he just didn't give a fuck. He just wanted to go be a fucking meter maid and just fuck off. And I'm joking. He's doing a noble thing. Blue lives matter. It's cool. I had to go there. Whatever. Shut up, dude. Shut up. He shows up in Armageddon and he looks fucking dumb. His redesign is stupid. He punches a woman, very fitting of a cop. He punches Melina. He's the first one that throws a punch. It's hilarious. He's just like, bitch. Gets her. He didn't say bitch, but I bet he said it in his head. And to be fair, Melina is a bitch especially in the original timeline. So it's fine. And then Stryker is in MK9. I think he's a much better representation. And then he gets killed. One-shotted. One of the many people that are one-shotted. And then he's a revenant. I mentioned this too in the last video. It's funny how the revenants are just darker versions of themselves, and then they look badass. They're upgraded. Like Nightwolf looks upgraded, Jax especially. Like a lot of the revenant characters get really good upgrade looking. It's like, wow, they look like different people. This is great. Like I can see the original, but this is dark. It's cool. It's gritty, and he's just like a darker skinned, black skinned, gray skinned fucking Stryker from MK9, and he's just shooting people. That's hilarious. And then his classic look returns for the MK1 cameo, which means he is in the story somewhere in the universe somewhere. Cool. Sick. You're back. Speaking of MK1 cameos, characters that returned, it's Darius. We alluded to him before. Darius is a member of Sato. He's a denizen, a citizen of the Order Realm. He is the leader of the rebellion, and what dawned on me is that he's an anti-hero. He is bringing chaos to the realm of order by being a rebel. He kills Dairu's family. Now, this is crazy. This is a crazy take, but hear me out. He killed a Satan Guardsman's family. He doesn't see the Satan Guardsmen as real people. But it turns out, by doing that, he brought the humanity out of Dairu, putting him on a completely different path. A path of righteousness. I mean, he's a mercenary. He'll kill whoever, really. But he still, gave him something else to do other than just, Tin Hut about faith. He's just, you're a human being, too. And that's crazy. That's crazy to me. Yeah, it's a very, very complex character, and I wish they would explore more with him. He's also in Armageddon, dies, and then in we don't see him at all in the MK, the next timeline. In this timeline, He is a cameo, and he is Havoc slash Dairu's best friend, associate, whatever you will. Why? I. It's a reach. I think he's the only one that can save that portrayal of Havoc. Bring Darius back. I like Darius. I think he's cool. Reptile. Reptile might be higher on this list now. After MK1, we will reconvene after MK1 is fully released. I can't believe I didn't mention that before. Reptile, real name Sizoth. I think I also didn't mention that. That was revealed in MKX, I believe, Mortal Kombat X. Real name is Sizoth, which is pretty cool. Reptile is a big fat pussy through most of his timelines. Let me see if I can do this real quick. I had to pause the video real quick. I was on Reptile, right? I was talking about Reptile, Sizoth. He's just a big bitch. He's a slave. He is a servant to Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn. Throughout the years, he never grows a backbone. He's used by Nitara. So let's go over it. Slave to Shang Tsung in the first game, who himself serves Shao Kahn. So really, he's like a double slave. And then he's just like, I love my master Shao Kahn, even though he killed my people. He wiped my people clean from the face of the earth and kept me around as like a, look what I have. Look at my prized possession, basically. And then he's like the equivalent of a house slave. Like that's what he is. Like, holy fuck. And then Mortal Kombat 3 gets killed. Is a slave to Shinnok, who resurrects him, and then he's going crazy because he's losing his humanity. And then in Reptile, is that fireworks or is that gunshots? What the fuck? Reptile, that might be fireworks. Reptile joins. He's in a vessel for Onaga, and then somehow, some way, the Red Dragon gets his body and is experimenting with him. And then, like when Onaga dies, somehow he gets his body back. They don't explain that well at all. It could be like a snake shedding its skin kind of situation. You know what I mean? I don't know, but anyway, here's Reptile, and then in the new timeline, he kind of gets a backbone. In MK9, he's a complete bitch, and then MKX and Mortal Kombat X, he joins up, and he's. Did I lock the door? Fuck, I did not. Please don't come in here. Mortal Kombat X, he kind of gets a backbone and turns on Kitana to serve Kotal Khan. Still, though, he's a servant. And then he just doesn't show up in MK11, oddly enough, even though Kotal's there. I don't know what's going on with that. Same thing for Ermac. Why is he not there? In the newest timeline, he's given the best story ever. He is an outcast of his people because he looks like a human. He likes to look human, and then his reptilian form is this big, hulking. Oh, it's so cool. I like it a lot. So after all is said and done, Reptile might go up in the rankings a little bit, especially after this next guy, Fujin. We talked about him a little bit earlier on. I kind of mentioned him by name. He's the god of wind. He fights Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero Mythologies as a boss. All the other Earthrealm gods besides Raiden get killed by Quan Chi, Shinnok, whatever. The wind god, the earth god, the fire god, the water god. All of them get ganked, but Fujin, and you actually know him by name in the game too. So that kind of gave him like the reason to be in a fighting game. Fujin is in this, and he's on the winning side, yes. And then Raiden is made an Elder God at the end of the game. Cool. We need a new Protector of Earthrealm. Fujin. Fujin, interestingly enough, might be related to Raiden. Might be his brother. Looks like a brother to Raiden. Which would also mean though that Shao Kahn and Raiden they might be brothers too, and Shinnok would be the father. He was the father in Annihilation anyway of all three, which would be an interesting dynamic. Um, yeah, there's a lot of cool shit there. Well, Raiden makes Fujin the new Earthrealm Protector of Earthrealm. That's awesome, great upgrade. And then Liu Kang fucking dies under his watch, to the point where Raiden has to come back and be like, what the fuck? And Fujin just kind of like just disappears. Um, Fujin shows back up at Armageddon like, my bad. You remember that one time? My bad. And he dies because everyone dies in Armageddon. In the new timeline, he was supposed to be in MK9. He shows up in like, the endings and stuff. And then in Mortal Kombat 20, Mortal Kombat MKX, he's actually in the story mode, and then he finally shows back up in MK11 after so long. My boy's giving flowers, our boy, whatever. It's cool, nice portrayal. We need more from him though, to put him higher up on the list. A lot more. How does Reiko go above Fujin? That's what I want to know, because Reiko is such a bitch. He's such a bitch. Maybe the new timeline kind of bumps him up a little bit more. I'll allow it for now. But in MK4, we get Reiko. I actually, I really liked Reiko when he first started. He's a general of Shao Kahn's army, pretty high ranking, one of his most trusted members of his whatever, And Reiko, at the end of his storyline, sits in Khan's throne, and Khan's mask is brought down over his eyes, and the collective community of Mortal Kombat fans went, "Does that mean he's Shao Kahn?" Which doesn't really make sense, in hindsight, at all. Like, what were we talking about? But it turns out, yeah, he was just cosplaying. He just wanted to be an emperor so bad. Dreamed of being emperor that he wore Shao Kahn's mask. That's so humiliating. What cuck behavior? What simp behavior? What a little puss bag. And then, like, to the point where, like, Shujinko had to pass along a message from Shao Kahn, like, please stop doing that. He's like, oh no, he knows about that. Oh man. And then he goes into hiding after Shao Kahn's death in the war room, and it's like, you just been chilling here, and then he dies in Armageddon. Oh yeah, he does have a really cool storyline in the comic books where he is like a badass like blood god, and he's with Scarlet. Yeah, it's really dope, and he dies, sure, but it's a really cool story, and bumped him up big time with the fans. They're like, oh shit, maybe we should have Reiko come back. Let's bring back this Reiko, and we kind of get a cool Reiko redo in the new game MK1. But he is just like General Shao's #1 fan. Yeah, pretty consistent. I like the consistency. Moloch. Why is Moloch here? Why is Moloch here? And why is Draman right above him? Why are these Oni fucks above Reiko? Maybe because I really like these characters, and really, they don't suffer that bad. So in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, we get Moloch as the sub-boss. He is kept chained up in the dungeon, alongside Draman as well. But Draman is a playable character for some reason, because he's normal size, not big gargantuan fuckbag, who has a big ball and chain, giant ball in his hand that he fucks people up with. Big lumbering oaf. He's lower because he's a big dumb stupid dumbass, and yeah, he's dumb and stupid. But they do throw Scorpion into a Soulnado. That's a huge win. They want to kill Quan Chi because Quan Chi, he was like, slow down Scorpion for me, and then I'll bring you guys with me to the Netherrealm where I'll come back for you. And he never does. And then Shang Tsung is like, hey, I heard that Quan Chi promised to bring you guys up here. How about I bring you up here instead, and he's gonna use them in his back pocket basically. I do like the story of Moloch where there's an owl. I don't remember the owl's name, if the owl even has a name, but the owl carries around that giant ball in chain, carries it around, and wherever it drops on the earth, Moloch springs from, um, killing whoever, just a menace. That's pretty cool. We don't get to see that in game, if that's even a thing. I do like that aspect. They could do that again, but they kill Moloch in the next timeline. I think Draman too, and the creators also hated Draman. Absolutely disgusted with Draman. I love Draman. I like the face mask. I like, he's like a cooler meat. He's a fleshy being, but he's covered with flies. He can gather the flies and throw them at you. I think that's totally neat. Yeah, that's that's Moloch and Draman. Um, yeah, I mean that's all really. I honestly can't see how you could bring them back. Um, Cetrion. Cetrion is an elder god, the first in the series that's not a fallen one, like Shinnok. Cetrion is like Mother Nature. She is beautiful, graceful, and also secretly fucking evil, because her mom, Kronika, is the main villain of Mortal Kombat 11, and is really like secretly in cahoots with her mom to like shape the timelines. Whatever. Elder gods aren't supposed to get involved. She's in the pockets of big business of Mortal Kombat, and she turns on the elder gods, kills the other elder gods, reveals herself to be evil, but she really doesn't have much of a backbone to stand up to her mom. She knows what her mom she knows that her mom is doing the worst thing possible, but she wants to be loved by her mom so bad that she willingly gives her life to give her mom more power. She lets her mom absorb her power. That's cold. And then in Aftermath, even after learning that this happens, she's like, okay, and she does it again. That puts her fairly down in the rankings, but I do love the hints of like the possibilities with this character. I don't see her coming back though, sadly. I do love the nature elements. She's like the poison ivy of Mortal Kombat. I think that's why they honestly just wanted a poison ivy character, and they gave her a neat story to go along with it though. A neat little bow present with is the bow that goes in the present. That's Mortal Kombat 11, like etc. Is like the vine. She's like a vine bow though, because she's nature. Um, the sister of Shinnok. So Kronika is the mother of Shinnok and Cetrion, which means that Cetrion might be Raiden's aunt, and Shao Kahn and Fujin for that matter, and Kronika is their grandmother. That's crazy. It's crazy to think about. Next up is Tor, and following Tor is Farah. I am doing these characters separately because they are separate characters, but they are a combo package in the game. Farah rides Tor. I think it's an unnamed species at this point, but it's a mountain rider species. The mount is Tor. He's a big hulking, lumbering, just non-verbal, just powerhouse. Looks dope, plays dope, but he's really just there to serve Farah, really. And Farah is the talkative one. We kill you, and she's just like this little girl, and we don't ever see her get killed. Tor is the one that takes the fatalities. Farah is actually returning in MK1, which also boosts her up even further. And one day she will like become one of these mounts as well. A horrible transformation takes place. And she's affectionately voiced by Tara Strong, which is awesome. I don't know if I've already mentioned that. For some reason, it was just running through my head, so kind of made myself think, Garrus, MK11. Garrus is a weird one because I did not expect to like him. And in fact, in MK11, I thought he was very boring. A character that can't die in MK is really stupid. And he works for Kronika. He has time manipulative powers as well. He's basically just like he's the defender of the Keeper of Time. He defends Kronika. to his last. And then when Liu Kang, spoiler alert, beats Kronika, he serves Liu Kang in the new timeline because Liu Kang becomes Fire God Liu Kang, blending with Raiden. Who, spoiler alert, I used to have as my number one on this list. He's because that's cool. That's a cool concept, and he played differently than regular Liu Kang. They're not separate characters. It's still Liu Kang. It's storming hard. We're under a tornado watch. Um, the winds are going crazy. Um, Dalton, Missouri. Severe thunderstorm warning until 11 p.m. So we got 40 minutes. Damn, holy shit. It's crazy. Garrus. Because he serves Liu Kang, he's a good guy, but it's really cool because you're like, is he though? And like you're really questioning it. Like, is he a good guy? Really dope. Really came around to liking him when he was the only new character returning from MK11 to MK1. I was like, what the fuck? Why him? But it makes sense story wise. Next up is Aaron Black. I love the potential of this character. He is an old Wild West cowboy outlaw character who is granted immortality. Like he go no he or like he flees to Outworld, and because it's Outworld, you last like you live a long time. Time is much slower there, so you get people there that are like 100 years old that only look to be about like 30, 40. So that's why he looks to be in impeccable shape. He's a sharpshooter character. I just really like him a lot. I like that he returned in MK11, but the retcons were stupid. They made him have a country accent, and somehow he's associated with the Black Dragon. How? What a fucking dumb retcon. I see potential for him. I think in MK11 they were really grasping for straws on how to like continue using him. He works for Kotal Khan. Like, why do you need to like figure out? Oh, there's like an old Aaron Black, like time travel Aaron Black, and he's like, yeah, I'm with the Black Dragon. And like, what the fuck? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's stupid. Noob Saibot. I think you could separate Noob and Saibot as separate characters as well, but they're so close in tandem because Noob is like the main black ninja, just silhouette, and then there's the shadow counterpart, and it's Noob Saibot. I think it's been retconned that way. I have a theory that Noob Saibot and Bihan are not one and the same. Let me explain. Bihan dies. Noob Saibot is not his Revenant version, like a lot of people claim. I think Noob Saibot is like this shadowy, demonic spirit that possesses Revenant Bihan, becoming a whole different thing. It just kind of amplifies Bihan's, bitter nature. I think that sounds pretty cool. I do like Noob Saibot. I like the idea of him. I think he plays really well. He gets his shit rocked. He's so high up because he does have some really interesting things early on. MK2, he shows up. He's very secretive for years. He's a member of the Brotherhood. He's the leader of the Brotherhood of Shadow. I guess you can say Quan Chi is, but Noob Saibot is like the general of the army, of the clan, and then he runs this shit. He's like the spokesman, and then we get the bombshell. He starts making his own moves. He mortally wounds Goro at the behest of the Deadly Alliance because he's still working close in tandem with Quan Chi. And then he oddly enough, no real interlap with him and Scorpion. Scorpion killed Sub-Zero. That also leads um, that gives some evidence to my theory that this goes beyond Revenant Behan, because I think Revenant Behan would still like harbor some like fuck you, Scorpion, just a little bit, you know. I don't. They don't have any of that though, of that interaction. But um, anyway, the big storyline reveal is that of course, we've mentioned it already, but Behan is Noob Saibot. Like that's crazy. And it was revealed in an ending of all places of Noob Saibot's ending, Noob Smoke's ending. Technically, they're both one and the same. They both share a roster slot, but like it's so crazy. Um, then of course Armageddon, everybody dies, and then in the new timeline, and in Shaolin Monks, they do this dumb thing where they're like, they just know, like, pretty quickly. Oh, I know it's you. I can always tell. Like, no, you. What the fuck ever. Like, there's no reveal anymore. There's no big like, what? Like, no. Oh, hi, brother. Like, oh, okay. But I understand too. Like, you can't continue to do the reveal, especially when you know. Like, I get it, but it's still dumb to me at the same time. I know I'm spoiled. But that being said, Noob Saibot gets his shit rocked a lot, especially in the new timeline. Just gets completely decimated. Um, yeah, the next person is Tanya. Tanya is an MK4. You think she's a goody goody Edenian girl. She's cool, and then she turns on Liu Kang. I mentioned this in the Mortal Kombat 4 review. Turns on Liu Kang, and it's really fucked up. Like, wow, that's messed up. Really good twist, and then we don't see her until Deception. So that she only skips one game, honestly, Deadly Alliance. And then here she is in Deception, and she was a badass redesign, working for Onaga, came off as a real threat, and then she dies in Armageddon. And then the new timeline, they continue to use her in MKX. She's working alongside Katana and Rain, another defector of Edenia. Makes sense for both of them to be hanging out. I always like kind of ship them together, but I didn't know this. There's a character interaction in MKX where it's implied that Melina and Tanya boned and did some real gay shit, real lesbian shit, and that was made canon in MK1. Melina is at least bisexual, and Tanya is straight up probably just lesbian. Could be bi as well. We could do the whole Rain thing if we want to. But in the new timeline, they are straight gay. I hate her design in the new timeline. I really do. But I do like her story. And I do like the whole romantic aspect and her being a good guy. Leader of the Umgadi. She could go up in the rankings. Speaking of Rain, here's Rain. He started as a joke character. Hey, remember we were talking about joke characters and how, oh, is this a real character? He's a purple ninja named Rain. Purple Rain. He was put in as a joke at the start of like the demo screen, and everyone was like, who the fuck is this guy? And fans were like, where's Rain? Where's Rain? That everyone was like, okay, here's Rain, and put him in it's like the Nintendo version of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and then he showed up in Trilogy as a legit character. We finally have a purple ninja. Let it represent. Let's go. He didn't really have a story. He has lightning powers, water powers. It's Rain. It wasn't until Armageddon when we got the whole Prince thing. He's a Prince of Edenia, and that leads further into Purple Rain Prince, into the joke more. But it was like he was given a real storyline, and he's like the son, the bastard son of Argus, the protector god of Edenia. In Armageddon, there are two characters, Taven and Dagon, who are like the main antagonist and protagonist, and they're the sons of Argus and Delia. Delia is a sorceress. Argus had an affair with an Edenian woman, a mortal Edenian woman that made Rain, and then Rain was just fucking pawned off to the fucking Outworld, and then raised to be an asshole. And then when it came time to fight for his land, he didn't. Fuck Edenia. Why would I fight for that? So it's like kind of justified. It's MCU villain shit. It's like, oh yeah, No wonder this kid's a dick. And learning about his birthright is really cool. He's a DLC character in MK9. He is not a playable character in MKX, but he's an NPC that has the classic look from the Armageddon look, and then a DLC character in MK11. And again, they are looking at that fucking that this is my birthright kind of thing. And then in MK1, they kind of just make him like a mage. He has a staff now, and kind of plays like shit in my opinion. You really have to like know your shit to really play him well. I'm not a pro player by any means. I'm a casual. I think he sucks, and his storyline just kind of took a little bit of a backseat. So yeah, I think Tanya would probably be above him now, but we'll see what happens when the dust is settled. We get the DLC or whatever. Shiva. Shiva would be higher. She's the first female Shokan, the only female Shokan in the series. She is on the bad side, but she really does not like Shao Kahn, and she doesn't keep that secret. How dare you pick the Centaurian race over our race? Time and time again. Prince Goro was your champion. You show him respect. Like, she's such a badass, and then, she attacks Mataro, beats his ass, and frees Kano, and she's like, hey, Kano, I'm going to kill Shao Kahn. Come help me. And Kano was like, okay, let me go in there, distract him, try to get on his good side, and then when I give you the signal and call your name, I'll call out your name, and you run in here, and we get the jump on him. And she's like, oh, bet, 4 arms, bet. And he goes in there, and he's like, hey, Shao Kahn, just a heads up, I know, well, 1 second, give me a second, don't kill me. Mataro was just killed by Shiva. She freed me. She wants to kill you. I told her that I'd, give her a signal and we jump you. Just know that when I do that, you can kill her. And so then that's exactly what happens. Oh, Shiva, she jumps in, and then he throws a fucking spear through her chest, dead. And she comes back we mentioned it before, as a jobber of Shinnok's. What a terrible storyline. What a terrible fall from grace. Wasted potential. And then in the new timeline, she again is just like sort of there, sort of exists, until Mortal Kombat 11, where she is the leader of the Shokan. She is like the queen of the Shokan. That's fucking dope. She's the new Goro. Basically, Goro has been just like, what's that called? He's been emasculated. That's not the word I was looking for, but I'll go with it. He's been cut down pretty bad. But yeah, there's much to be seen with the future of Shiva. But MK11 really gave her some more insight. Speaking of, Kano. Kano gets his shit rocked a lot, and that's why he's so far down. He's an iconic character, but let's be real here. He gets his shit rocked. He gets fucked up. MK1, he is there. He's employed by Shang Tsung, but he's really there to like steal money. Like, he's like, I don't really give a fuck about being here. Really just real like fucking Peanuts gallery of fucking characters. Like, who the fuck? And he gets captured with Sonya, and they're both strung up embarrassingly in front. And then he gets his shit rocked by Sonya. And then in Mortal Kombat 3, he's made a general. We're on the up and up. This is cool. But he gets thrown from a fucking building, a skyscraper, to his death. Barely lives because of Mataro doing his little magic shit. And then he goes on to Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance Returning. We talked about the whole Shiva thing. He's serving Shao Kahn for a little bit more, mostly as like his general, like in-house general. He's just helping him out inside and with affairs and stuff. He's not out there. He's not public. He wants to remain in hiding, and then he stumbles upon the Deadly Alliance killing the clone of Shao Kahn. Of course, he doesn't know that Shao Kahn's clone, so he goes over and he's like, "Hey, thank you," and kneels to them like, "I pledge my allegiance to the two gay dudes, Shang Tsung and Quan Chi." And then yeah, it's cool, and then he gets fucked up by Movado, one of the like highest ranking members of the Red Dragon, who at the time we thought was like the equivalent of Kano. Yeah, so god damn, it's bad out there. Yeah, he goes ahead and he has that happen. Then he's experimented on by the Red Dragon, and then the new timeline's a little bit better. He doesn't get thrown to his death, but he does get in the next timeline. He's old and he's still chilling. In MK11, that's the big turning point. He fucking dies, and I was really happy because he was really annoying. And they did it in such a cool way. It was justified. Like yes, so sick. Now he's a cameo, so we'll see what the future holds for Kano. I definitely see him being a DLC character. Itara, Master Manipulator. I think she's really cool. In the new timeline, the newest MK1 doesn't really do much, so I'm cool with her staying here. She doesn't go up or down. She just kind of stays, kind of cancels it out because of the first. When you first see her, it's like, oh, this is pretty sick. She manipulates Reptile and Cyrax. Like, that's so cool. That's so cool. Then we have, here we go. At least I had one yawn at like almost 20 minutes. Now it's 2 hours. So we're doing pretty good. Damn. I think a tree just fell down. Holy shit. What a time to record. Then we have Movado. Movado, we've mentioned. He kills Cabal and steals his hook swords. Holy shit. What a debut. Like, in the background of his, like, fighter, he's just, like with the hook swords and crossing them, smug fucking bastard. Behind is the body of Cabal laying down in a pool of blood. Holy shit. I like his gimmicks of the like little bungee cord shoe things, or the cords and then the spike shoes. I think that's pretty neat. He doesn't really do much else, and then he's a cameo. He just came around a couple months back, and he looks like DMC Dante, like looks like Brendan Urie. He just looks like a emo kid. I don't mind him. I think there's some more potential there. I think he gets killed in the last timeline, the second timeline, because we're now on the third timeline. This is where the torches and pitchforks come out again, because I count those amalgamated characters from Armageddon as their own characters. Jesus Christ. See, they're not happy with that. With me choosing those characters. Holy fuck, dude. God damn. Sorry. Shit. Ninja Mime. Ninja Mime comes up next. This goes back to the whole Illinois Johnny thing I was talking about like over an hour ago. Ninja Mime is a character from a Mortal Kombat, from a Johnny Cage movie. The series of the same name, the Ninja Mime series, is exactly what it sounds like. It's a mime who is also a ninja who is also a mime. And he exists as like a costume in MK11, and now in this game, but also as a character. He shows up and it's like, wait, what? So he's now a character. It's really interesting, but he's just Ninja Mime. So like, he's still pretty low on my list. Right under Scorp Lao. Scorp Lao, I think. Okay, there's two of them. There's Scorp Lao. We'll come back to this one. And then there's Fire Cage, who is Johnny Cage and Liu Kang. It's Liu Kang who is like Johnny Cage, if he were like Johnny Cage. Really cocky and arrogant and dumb, and just a dumb name. Fire Cage. That's stupid. If Liu Kang went Hollywood, if they combined those two characters. So Fire Guy Liu Kang exists because Raiden and Liu Kang mixed and made the Liu Kang that we have now. So that's what these characters mostly are. Except, you know, we had LK-72, Robot Smoke, Cyber Smoke. Scorp Lao, I think, is Scorpion. I think it's Kung Lao and Scorpion mixed. But it's called Scorp Lao. Yeah, I think it's Kung Lao with the powers of Scorpion. Above Fire Cage is Stung Lao. It's it's Kung Lao with the powers of Scorpion. It's Scorpion with the powers of Kung Lao. It's stupid, right? It's fucking dumb. Who cares? Why are they? And they look so similar, but they're definitely different in ways. I like the idea of Scorpion getting the hat, and like the teleportation and stuff. It makes more sense than Kung Lao getting the powers of Scorpion. It's both. It's fucking dumb. You can really change these up. You can put them pretty low as well if you want to. Next up is Screen Demon. Screen Demon is is Ashra and Johnny Cage mixed. Very weird to see her with a flat top, like Johnny Cage style hairstyle. Johnny Cage hairstyle and glasses and shit, and I don't know, it's just weird. Kind of interesting, like if Ashura also wanted fame. Sento Storm is Rain with Kenshi's powers. The name Sento Storm sounds like a fucking like Power Rangers like villain or something. He looks okay. Kind of a weird mix of, you know, what if Rain also had telekinesis and was blind? Cool. Ice Lizard is the first one in the Invasions. Invasions season 5 and 6 have more. They introduced more amalgamated characters, and Ice Lizard looks pretty sick. He's Bihan, who is also a reptilian. Bihan and Sub-Zero and Reptile mix, or just say Sub-Zero and Reptile mix. So there's accents of blue and green and the scales, and so if Bihan and him fused and he became a reptilian, I think it's pretty cool. Ice Lizard's kind of a boring name. A lot of these go off like the naming conventions too. Like I like the idea of them, but the names are weak, or just like they're weak, but the names are cool. Like it goes back and forth. Reiko Star. I think that's a play on like Ringo Starr, I think, or whatever. Where's the one? David Bowie. It's not Ringo Starr. I thought there's another thing. Ringo. It might not even be Ringo Starr, but it's kind of spelled similar. The star with the STARR. I don't know. Whatever. It's Reiko and Johnny Cage mixed. Kind of dumb. What a dumb name, Reiko Star. I don't know. There's some things you can do with that, but I don't know. Quan Li is Quan Chi and Li Mei mixed. Okay. A lot of the Quan mixes don't do a lot for me. This one especially. Frostbite is Nitara and Sub-Zero mixed. I think it's kind of sick, but like it's there's something off about it. Jaw Spell is one of my favorite Quan Chi mixes. It's Melina and Quan Chi, and it reminds me of like a Cenobite. And Jaw Spell is such a Cenobite name too. I think it's a really cool name. Kang Quan I thought was really stupid. It's Liu Kang and Quan Chi, but then the name just started like really like flowing off the tongue. Kang Quan. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that. Kang Quan. He looks pretty dope too. Then we have War Mage, and War Mage is flipping Reiko and Quan Chi, and he looks sick. He looks a lot like Kang Quan, but like he's like a buffer, like brawler Quan Chi. And War Mage just sounds dope. Demon Eye. I was conflicted with this one before too. Like, why is Demon Eye this far up? Ashra and Kano. Um, and I don't know. Honestly, when I'm thinking about it, I really don't know. Demon Eye is such a dumb name. I don't know, but I don't care about these characters that much to change it. Demon Eye. Next up is Johnny Too Cool. It's Johnny Cage and Sub Zero mix. He's got like a lighter blue. He's Johnny Cage with Sub Zero's powers. Cocky name Johnny Too Cool. After him is Cool Cage. It's Sub Zero with Johnny Cage's powers. Now, Cool Cage actually looks fucking sick. It is Bihan, but he has the hair and the glasses of Johnny Cage, a lighter complexion a little bit. So, but he just looks much better than Johnny Too Cool. Johnny Too Cool looks like a fucking weird ass fucking cosplayer dude. Like, in my opinion, Cool Cage looks better, and Cool Cage just sounds better than Johnny Too Cool. Both are kind of dumb names, but whatever. This one was far down my list, and I don't. It's probably because his original name was Shao Zero in the story mode, but in Invasions they renamed him to Khan Zero. So this is Shao Kahn mixed with Sub Zero, which it would be in the original timeline anyway. If like a lot of these are based on like MK11 variants. Yeah, Shao Kahn with Sub Zero powers is insane. Very OP. I love it. You can really just call him Shao Kahn Zero if you want to, the full effect. Lee Han is fucking Lee Mei and Sub Zero. She looks cool. It's crazy that we got a female Scorpion or a female version of like all the ninjas. So we got a female Sub Zero, but we also have a Lee Mei Sub Zero. I don't know, but she looks cool. Johnny Savage is Johnny Cage mixed with Baraka. He looks so sick. They renamed him to Savage Cage in Invasions 5 and Season 5 and 6. And you could just call him Johnny Savage Cage, like the full name. Sick. I don't know. I like the Baraka ones a lot too. Firefly is Scorpion in Lee Mei mix, Lee Mei and Scorpion mix. So like a female Scorpion again, but with Lee Mei powers as well. And that's the difference too, right? Like the female Scorpion, Sub Zero, and like all those ninjas are just female versions. You see that shit? God damn, it jumped off my face. Here we go again. Lizard Queen. Lizard Queen is Sindel mixed with Reptile. I just kind of like the idea of Sindel being a reptilian now and trying to like be like Reptile and like save her people. Like she now feels connected to those people as well. I think that's kind of cool. Cold Widow is kind of wild of a name. It's Sub-Zero, Sindel and Sub-Zero mixed. She looks dope. She looks dope. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Chaos Dragon is really dope. It's Havoc mixed with Kano, and because it's the old timeline, this would be like the OG Havoc fusing with Kano. It looks so badass. Like the other Kano variants are kind of just like whatever. Like let's just make them bald and put the bionic eye, and it does the same thing for this one, but it just works. And Chaos Dragon is so cool with a K. Then we have Thunderstorm, which is Rain with Raiden's powers. There's a lot of Storm characters here. The Raiden ones I really like because you're fusing with a god, so I think that's kind of cool. Cage Lightning is Johnny Cage with Raiden's powers. Again, pretty cool. The name Cage Lightning fits. Very superhero sounding. Smokestorm is smoke in with Raiden's powers. Again, pretty dope. He looks so sick. Hanzo Khan is Scorpion with Shao Kahn's powers. So Hanzo Hasashi becoming Shao Kahn, like becoming Khan of Outworld. Pretty sick. It looks kind of goofy with the mask, but a lot of them do. But I don't take that into account. I just take into account the fact of them leading like Outworld. It's pretty cool. B Khan is Sub Zero in with the Khan mask and everything. I just like the idea of like the Freezy boy. Like I like him better than Hanzo Khan, honestly. I think looks cooler too. I think Hanzo Khan, he looks all right. B Khan, he's got the horns and shit. Boy, I mean he does too. I don't know. It fits better with B Khan. Really, these are kind of interchangeable as well. It looks like they're OG outfits, but with Shao Kahn's mask. Guard of Thunder is Lee May and Raiden. I always like that one. I thought it was pretty cool. Um, Guard of Thunder, and it like fits in with the whole like Earth, like protector of Earthrealm kind of thing. She's a guard. She takes her job seriously. Shock Priestess is Tanya with Raiden's powers. I just like that name, Shock Priestess. Dark Sight is I think Raiden. Who the fuck is this? Is it Raiden and Kenshi? It's Kenshi with Raiden's powers. Looks so dope, and with the dark, it's the implication that this is Dark Raiden and Kenshi, which is even more badass. No, it's Raiden with Kenshi powers. So this is like Dark Raiden with Kenshi's blindness and telekinesis and stuff. Very OP. Dark Sight. Blinding Haze is Smoke with Kenshi's powers. It just looks so dope. Fits really well. Warlord is Reiko and Raiden, I believe. It looks dope. Dope name, Warlord. Dark Sizoth is Reptile with Raiden's powers. I love the idea of Dark Raiden fusing with Reptile and then taking on the Sizoth name and becoming like Dark Sizoth. I just think it's pretty sick concept. Soul Lord is really wild. Shang Tsung and Raiden mixed. That talk about OP and just a real game changer. That's crazy. Kung Ji, I just love that name. Kung Ji. It's Kung Lao and Kenshi. Kung Ji. And it sounds like Kenshi, kind of. Kung Ji. Kung Ji. Kenshi. Looks so badass with that fucking hat. Oh my god. And the turns to the side with the sword. Oh my god, dude. Kung Ji. It's really sick. Same thing with Crocodile. That's Garrus mixed with Reptile. He's a reptilian boy now. I like the idea of him, with his time altering properties and stuff, wanting to go back in time to save his race. Quantum Chi is Garrus mixed with Quan Chi. Just again, I like the whole like him. This is the best Quan Chi because it's like he wants to rectify shit. Just the time shit. It's really cool. Barakion is Baraka and Scorpion. Really fucking dope. John Connor, I was wondering why I ranked him so high. I think it fits so well. He looks really cool. Johnny Cage with Shao Kahn's powers, becoming Khan, having that mask on, and he the cockiness that drips from him. I can see him like ruling Outworld with the Iron Fist and still having that fucking cocky, pun-filled John Connor. He's come to save us all, you guys. He sees himself as the savior. That makes it even better when you really look at it, because John Connor saved us from the Terminator. Red Dragon is really cool. It's Liu Kang mixed with Kano. I used to affectionately call this idea of a character Liu Kano way back in Deadly Alliance. So there's an ending, Quan Chi's ending, one of their endings where they turn on each other, and Kano is caught in the crossfire, and he's one of the souls goes into his body. The soul NATO like is destroyed or whatever. Soul goes into his body. The soul happens to be that of Liu Kang, and I was like, oh, that'd be a sick concept. Have him grow out the hair. Have him have a cybernetic eye, or he has a cybernetic eye, but have him grow out his hair like Liu Kang would, and have like the red band, and then be like a good guy. Like be conflicted. Like I think that'd be really sick. Um, but Red Dragon's a cool name too. Like we'll be part of the Red Dragon. So. Katana Khan is an actual thing that happened in MK11, but in a good way. She takes on the name Katana Khan, because she's now a part of. She's the Khanum. She's a part of the Khanum, leader of Outworld, and then they changed the timeline. This is an evil Katana Khan. Katana with Shao Kahn's powers, the mask. It's pretty high up because it's like kind of what happened, sort of. Ermac, female Ermac specifically. Female Ermac, I like the idea. You could easily make like a different timeline. It makes sense that this would be like he's a being comprised of many souls, so it's not a far stretch to be like, oh, here's a female version of that. A big stretch, far stretch, super stretch. Sub-Zero, the female Sub-Zero, who has been given the name in the Invasions mode as Hydra. Ermac has not been given a name. I think you should just keep it Ermac. Ermac is very much like a non-binary name. Why not? Ermaca. What are you going to do? Ermina? Like, what are you going to do? Yeah, Sub-Zero is named Hydra, Hydrah. That's a nice callback to the character in the comics of the same name, but without the H at the end. And then they made a cybernetic Hydra in MK Legacy, another good callback. So this is really cool. I used to think I was trying to like justify in my head like who these characters would be, and I never thought Hydra. I thought they mentioned Sub-Zero having a sister, both the Sub-Zeros having like a sister. Why couldn't that be the sister? And it could still very well be Hydra in this timeline, or whatever timeline she's from, is the sister of the Sub-Zeros, and she becomes like the Titan. She's the big keeper of time. Because these are all keeper of times. That's why they're so high too. They're Titans. Even though they all get their shit rocked. This one's interesting. Is Reptile, a female Reptile, just a female Saurian in general. I really like the idea of, but they do give her a name, Swift R Tail. Like R is the middle initial. Swift R Tail. So like Swifter Tail, and I was like, Swift R Tail, Swifter Tail, and then I'm like, oh, read it backwards, Taylor Swift. That is incredibly dumb, but genius at the same time. Hear me out. They say that the elite of this world, the billionaires of this world, they secretly control things, and they're whatever, and they're lizard people. Taylor Swift is a lizard person, confirmed. I think that's really funny, and I think if they were to ever like portray a female reptilian character that isn't chameleon, a female reptile, they should get Taylor Swift. I would love that. That would be amazing. Just a little tongue-in-cheek reference to lizard people. It's cool. Swift R Tail is kind of dumb. Janet Cage is next. Janet Cage would be higher up because she's not only in the story mode, she's a female Johnny Cage. Not only would she do that, whatever, but and I like the idea of like, does she still in her timeline? Does she still get with Sonya? Does she still like Sonya? Is she les? Is she bi? Who does she get with? Does she? Cassie's not born, So like, how does that work? Like, what do you know what I mean? Like, what do we do? Do they adopt? Do they get together at all? So many questions, so little time. They were gonna make Johnny Cage they're gonna make a Johnny Cage cameo. Johnny Cage is in the story mode, but they're gonna make a cameo, and I was like, oh man, we already have a Scorpion and Sub-Zero cameo. I'm cool with the Scorpion one because that is Hanzo Hasashi, confirmed. But I don't like how they have a Sub-Zero cameo. I think that's dumb. Like the classic ones are dumb. if there are already characters in this story. Like, I think it's dumb. Really, to rectify this, you should have just like had cameo variants for all the characters. Really, that would have been cool. A classic Havoc, classic Natara. You know, like that would make sense. And then have bonus cameos that aren't playable to rectify that. Anyway, Johnny Cage as a cameo was scrapped, and they gave it to Janet Cage. And I was like, that's genius. So she's actually a character in the game too, not just an amalgamated, you know, whatever, an alternate timeline version of people. I keep saying amalgamated, but you know. And the top of this list of alternate timeline characters is the female Scorpion. I love Scorpion. I love the idea of a female Scorpion, but who would be a female Scorpion? Well, it of course would be Scorpion's wife, right? Who was killed in the original timeline, the new timeline. Not the current timeline, though, because Hanzo Asashi, as we've discussed, is not Scorpion in this one. Kuai Liang is. Kuai Liang ends up getting with this girl at the end of the game. In the story mode, invasions, and a bunch of other stuff. He gets with Harumi, who is Harumi Hasashi from the first timeline, or whatever her maiden name is. She's just known as Harumi right now. I was like, oh yeah, that could be. And then they say, like, in the first invasion season mode, when you beat Hanzo, Hanzo is going to every timeline trying to find, like, his wife, like, get his wife. And then he meets a female Scorpion counterpart that is Harumi, who's been looking for him, and they team up and they become like protectors of realms and stuff, and it's really cool. So I was like, that easy, no brainer. And then in Invasions they did call her Harumi, so confirmed. That's really cool. Next up is Smoke. Tomas Verbata, as we mentioned, he now is like the adopted son, but before he's just a member of the Lin Kuei. He and Kuai Liang are best buddies, and then he is tragically taken and turned into a cyborg. In the new timeline, however, the next timeline, the alternate timeline, the second timeline, he is spared, but he's killed. Sad face. And then he's made we do see the evil version of him that he calls himself Ininra. And Ninra is like the smoke demon monster that has like granted him these powers, these gifts. So Ninra has kind of like possessed him, I guess, is the retcon. I really like Smoke. I like that he, you know, is a good guy. I don't know why he's this high up, honestly. Like, it's cool that his human side beat out the cyborg side for a little bit. But the new timeline, yeah, he got killed. And he's a revenant. And then in the newest timeline, I guess that bumps him up a little bit more, but I'd still say he's like lower than the Titans probably. Um, I'm not sure. I'm going down real quick to see like. Yeah, no, he's above. He's definitely above Movado, so he'll stay there. Baraka. Baraka was such a little bitch for a long time. Had dreams of overtaking Shao Kahn, and he just doesn't. He doesn't live up to his potential. He gets killed in MK3, loses in MK2 his debut, killed in MK3. MK4 he looks weird and he's on Shinnok's team and they lose again. So he's just consistent loser. Finally grows a backbone. Bitch Max, Melina, they kind of have a little bitch feud, and then he's back at her side. They both serve Onaga. Again, losers. He serves at her side, and then she's quickly overthrown by Shao Kahn. Like, get the fuck out of my seat. And she's like, oh, my bad, father. You know, and Baraka, loser, and then they all die in Armageddon. And then in the next timeline, not any better. He starts off being a servant and getting his ass beat, and then in MKX, he stands by his Khan, his queen, Melina, to get maliciously, brutally killed. And in MK11, they really did a really fantastic redesign on him. Like, he just, it's not a big redesign, but he's buff as fuck, swole boy. He looks so awesome. And then he actually, like, sides with Katana, and is like, nah, you got my support. And then the newest timeline, they really did like a wonderful new storyline for him. Tarkatans are a race of nomadic mutants in Outworld. A lot of people shit on all of them. They think they're just savage brutes. Ew, gross. No one likes them. And then in the newest timeline, it's revealed why no one likes them. It's not just because they're savage brutes and they kill everybody and they're bloodthirsty or whatever. It's because they literally have a disease called Tarkat. Tarkat elongates the teeth. It gives you these weird blades that come out of your arm. They turn you into these monsters. And because of this Tarkat disease, they're called the Tarkatans. The ones that survive are really the unlucky ones. They are monsters. They do eat flesh. They're just savages, savage creatures, and they really don't want to be viewed as that. But they will defend themselves, however. And then Baraka's just a good dude in this one. And then Taven. Taven is the man. A lot of people are probably like fucking punching the air right now. What the fuck did you? How is he this high up? From Armageddon, generic boy number one. Like, why? Because his storyline is so important to the lore of Mortal Kombat. This is the end game of the first timeline. This is crazy, and Taven, is got this huge gift ahead of him. He's got a lot. Honestly, I really don't. I think it's just bias. I just really like the storyline of Armageddon, and Taven probably shouldn't be this high up, honestly, but I see potential for him in the future. He is generic as fuck. He's generic looking as fuck. If he's low on your list, I won't. I'm not gonna be like, hey, like I totally get it. I just really like Taven. Ashra, who has probably gone up. She is a demon of the Nether Realm. We've mentioned her quite a bit before. She finds this sword called the Chris, and she kills her sisters, a bunch of other demons of the Nether Realm, and that allows her spirit to go up, to ascend to Earth Realm, and she's a righteous fighter. That sword goes back to Nitara. They both feud because there was a guy named Kahil Grigesh, blue-haired vampire boy, sexy time, wow wow. He has that sword, and they call it the Vampire Killer, and he kills vampires with it. He kills his own kind, swearing that he's purifying his soul, when really he's just killing his own kind. So then it really puts into perspective, like, wait, is Ashra being controlled by this sword, or is she really a divine being? She still fights on like the good side. So what's going on here? And Nitara like doesn't seem like a bad character. Like she just looks like a bad bitch. But are they like? Are like what's going? It's a really cool dynamic there. They do not touch on it in MK1 at all. I think they might face off, but they don't do anything. Ashra gets more story time in the newest timeline, so I like it, and they make her more demonic. Then we have Dagon. Dagon is Taven's little brother, who is older than him now because he was awakened from his slumber before Taven was. They're put on this grand journey. The whole storyline of MK Armageddon is that they, Argus and Delia has created Blaze to bring about Armageddon. Armageddon needs to happen for this whole Mortal Kombat bullshit to end. And Argus is like, our sons will face off to the death. Whoever wins, that last battle of Mortal Kombat gets to fight Blaze, and then one of them ends the world and one of them saves it. What the fuck are you talking about? And Dagon is a bad boy. He's woken up early and he's so like shocked by what his parents did. He kills his parents. And I feel like justifiably so. Why the fuck did you put me? I remember as a kid I was like, damn, he killed his own parents. Bro, your parents are playing this fucking game with your life. Yeah, of course. Like, it's bullshit. But that is Dagon. He creates the Red Dragon, and there's a lot of like storyline implications of like he's been a puppet master for a lot of things in the background. Just waiting, just biding his time to when like, okay, Armageddon's here, let's go. Then we have Shujinko. the main character of Mortal Kombat Conquest, la- living for as long as he has, lasting for as long, all the way back during the Great Kung Lao and Shang Tsung time. Like, this dude has lived a long time. I really like his character. Um, and then that's it. Armageddon, he's just kind of like hi and interacts with your character and then moves on. Dies in Armageddon. The next timeline doesn't really do much. Kind of gets possessed. And then the newest timeline, he is a cameo. He's a cameo character. A lot of people were pissed that he doesn't look like the old Chijinko. Cabal? Am I super tired, or did we already talk about Cabal? We have about him like reforming the Black Dragon. He seems way too high up. Cabal. He is a winner on the good guy side. He was with the Black Dragon. He was with the Red Dragon with Kano. They defected, made the Black Dragon. Didn't like doing it anymore and wanted to be on the good guy side. Went to the good guy side with the Earthrealm invasion and invasion of Earthrealm. He had like a really horrible accident while he was in the Black Dragon and was fitted with this fucking Darth Vader shit and has hook swords and pretty just burnt skin. It just looks fucking dope. So gnarly. Runs fast like the Flash, and then in Mortal Kombat, he's gone for a while. Gets his shit rocked by Movado. Comes back, reforms bootleg Black Dragon. Dies in Armageddon. In the new timeline, it goes further into saying, "Oh no, Cabal joined the police force with Stryker." And there's always been this connection with those two. So it's kind of neat, and a little callback to like Annihilation, and like it's pretty sick. And then, um, fucking Cabal, he he gets burned in the story mode by both Goro and Kintaro breathing fire onto him. Kano rescues him and is like, "Hey, how about we join forces again?" He fits him with everything, and he's like, "I would never do that." And then he beats the shit out of Kano, goes back. Then he's killed in a one shot by Sindel, becomes a Revenant, isn't playable, or I don't even think you face off against him in MKX. And then in Mortal Kombat 11, there's Revenant Cabal, and then there's the old school Black Dragon Cabal. It goes even further back before he's burnt. Like he's a bad guy. That's weird. And then in the newest timeline, he is not there. So yeah, that's Cabal. Remains to be seen if he can raise up the rank. I like his outfit. I like his fit. Um, Devora. Now Devora really took me by surprise because this one I didn't like her voice. I didn't like how she looked. You gross, disgusting. Fuck you. And then I'm really like a sucker for characters they shove down our throats. They shove it down our throat and say you will like this, and I'm like yes sir, I love this. Thank you very much. Devora is dope. I love the twists and turns of her character. I like that she returned in MK11. I was so pumped when she came back. Hope she comes back again. Love her. Ermac. Ermac is a being comprised of souls. We've already talked about this. He's a bad guy. Ooh, scaly bad guy. From MK3, he was there. He was a rumored character in the first game. It was like a glitch, and it's short for error macros. So they're like Ermacs, and it's like, who's Ermac? What the fuck? And then debuts in MK3 proper. Not in 4, not in Deadly Alliance. Returns in Deception as a good guy. So one of the souls in him, we are Ermac. This is when it's really like retcon. Like, oh no, he's a being made of souls. A good soul has taken over the body, and so now he's a good guy, and he actually rescues a bunch of characters. So he went from taking a loss to taking a pretty significant win, significant character change, dying in Armageddon, womp womp. Becoming such an OP badass in the next timeline because of Quan Chi being such an OP sorcerer. He's the one that creates Ermac in this timeline, I believe. Quan Chi's given all like the Shang Tsung shit, and he blows up Jax's arms. He's the reason Jax has metal arms in that timeline. He has to actually get arm replacements. And then Ermac returns in the next game as a fucking mummy dumbass looking dude, and he feels much lesser of a lore wise, you know. Um, and then doesn't return to MK11 for some weird reason, and then was a DLC slash story mode character in MK1. I do love what they're doing with his character now. Interesting to see how that happens, like what happens with that going forward. Um, Next up is Shinnok, Fallen Elder God. He's so high up because of his lore. You know, the whole Fallen Elder God battling Raiden. Raiden's the hero. But he really is a bitch. Like, he gets his shit rocked a lot. Um, as we've discussed, couldn't leave NetherRealm for Armageddon. The whole Edenian invasion was a fucking massive flop, massively floppy cock, and then just all over his face. And then Mortal Kombat, MKX, he invades Earthrealm. Johnny Cage beats the shit out of him, which is a nice callback to them having that connection in Armageddon. And gets his head chopped off. If it wasn't for that first like super extremely important lore, he'd be like so much further down this list. It's not even funny. Scorpion. Scorpion. The Kuai Liang version. Only been in one game so far. I do like what they're doing. It's kind of a weird choice to make Kuai Liang Scorpion. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. He is founded the Shirai Ryu. Smoke is on there. A young Hanzo Asashi, like a little kid, and then Harumi, who he's going to get married to. So lots of cool shit there. Interesting perspectives. He's feuding with his brother, his older brother Bihan. Making it a blood feud is interesting, but I don't. How can you beat Scorpion Hanzo Asashi? How can you beat the classic, right? Now, to be fair, in the original timeline, Scorpion is a massive pussy. The first game, he gets his revenge on Sub-Zero. Bihan kills him. That's sick. Is there something in my hair? Or is that just it's just catching the door? Um, he beats Sub-Zero, Bihan. He then goes on to just not really care and then become Kuai Liang's protector, the Kuai Liang Sub-Zero. Until Mortal Kombat 4, he's told, hey, he kind of had something to do with it. And he's like, oh fuck, I'll fucking kill him. And then comes to find out, oh, Quan Chi was the guy that killed my family. Because Quan Chi's a dumbass and did the whole supervillain move and telling his plan. So now Scorpion wants to kill Quan Chi. He gets thrown into a Soulnado. He's made the champion of the Elder Gods. That's a really interesting turn. Like, really left, like, whoa. And then in exchange for being the Elder Gods champion, he wants his family and clan restored, brought back to life, and they're like, done. And you know, he helps out with the downfall of Onaga, as everyone else does as well. And they bring him back, but as undead, just like him. And he's so pissed off that he pulls a Kratos and is like, I'm gonna fuck your whole world up. It's cool, but he loses. So, you know, everyone dies in Armageddon. In the new timeline, MK9 really brought him back. Like, wow. Like, he was, oh, what a real pussy. And then, like, just such a fucking yes sir, no sir to Quan Chi. In the next game, he's still, Jesus, he's still serving Quan Chi. And then becomes mortal again. And leader of Shirai Ryu, and him and Kuai Liang make up. Really good step in the right direction. And then he fucking dies in MK11. The old school, the past version of Hanzo, the Scorpion, who's undead, sees this happen and is like himself die in his arms, his humanity literally dying in front of him. He's like, I have to be a better person, and I have to somehow get to this again. And then the timeline's reversed, and then Hanzo is now a little boy. So we'll see what happens with that. If he does, I don't think he's gonna take on the name Scorpion. But if Hanzo is just Hanzo Asashi, is that a separate character? I don't know, man. Like, it gets so weird. because Lee May, like when you change the ages, that kind of like fucks me up. Like, wait, what are we doing here? Goro, um, Goro is kind of gets his ass kicked in a lot of games, but hear me out. He was champion of Mortal Kombat for 9 straight victories in a row. Um, you can't beat that shit. I mean, Prince of the Shokan. Yes, once he loses to Liu Kang, it kind of goes downhill from there. But then he redeems himself by being a good guy. Has a change of heart again with Shao Kahn. Dies in Armageddon. In the new timeline, he's giving some kind of story, and then we'll see what happens after the whole cameo thing. Um, really, he's this high on the list because he was a former Mortal Kombat champion. That's really, really something. Speaking of Shang Tsung, another Mortal Kombat champion, he should be way higher on this list now after his stint in Aftermath and in Mortal Kombat 1. Shang Tsung is such a dope character, such a classic. I love Shang Tsung so much. I was so pissed when he and Quan Chi fought in the opening of Mortal Kombat Deception, and Quan Chi chokes him so hard that he spits out blood. I was like, no, no, Shang Tsung is cooler than you, Quan Chi. Fuck you. But then I came to really like Quan Chi. But Shang Tsung, the Daily Alliance, whole thing, like there's so many good stories surrounding Shang Tsung, and the fact that they got Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa to portray him again in MK11 added so much to the character. The whole Titan Shang Tsung for MK1, oh man, there's so many layers there. Melina. Melina is cool. Clone of Katana. Just kind of gets her shit rocked a lot. But the whole, like, could Melina Khan added a lot to her story. Um, I really honestly don't know how she's this high up. Maybe, like, just longevity. Surviving for as long as she did. MK1 kind of helps out a lot because it really gave her more of a characterization. Now Melina and Katana are sisters. I'm not counting them as separate characters. Clone Melina and sister Melina. She gets the Tarkat disease and gets the teeth and stuff infected with the Tarkat. Cyrax, human Cyrax. They included human Cyrax and human Sector in MK9, and the human versions they add more complexity to the overall like history of those characters. Human Cyrax doesn't want to do it. He does not want to do it. Sector's kind of forcing him to. He considers Sector a really good friend, and he thinks he has his best interests at heart. But then he's like, "You're stripping my humanity away from me." Sadly, tragically, he does still get turned into Cyrax. And we don't see his humanity for a while. We do see glimpses of his humanity in the old timeline too, but like it's the first time we see a completely fleshed out human wearing yellow garb, Lin Kuei. Like it's pretty cool. Same thing for Human Sector. Um, he's only higher up because he wants to be a cyber and he gets what he wants. Um, yeah, it's if Cyrax didn't get turned, against his will, I think he'd be higher. But I mean, if Cyrax chose, I think he'd be even lower, honestly. But the fact that he has that, that oh man, I don't want it, but and he fights and says I'm not going to, and then he gets turned anyway. Sector, I don't know, and he just looks cool. Human Sector. Now we're on to Sector, the normal cyborg sector. Cyber Sector. He is the son of the Grandmaster. The Grandmaster is all in favor of the Cyber Initiative. It's Sector's idea for the Cyber Initiative. In the MK Defenders of the Legacy, Defenders of the Realm, Defenders of the Legacy, Defenders of the Realm. I think it's his brother. I forgot what his brother's name is. But Sector is like, yeah, this is a great idea. He's very cybernetic mindset, very calculating. He leads the Lin Kuei for a little bit. That's pretty impressive. But then Kuai Liang Sub Zero wants that shit back, rocks his shit, And then Sector, instead of being a little bitch and crying about it, he makes his own clan called the Takunin. Really cool. In the next timeline, he still gets his way. Leads the Lin Kuei. He doesn't make the Takunin this time after getting beat. In fact, he gets beat so bad that they kind of like shut shit down. Shut down. But he he does appear in MK11. There's an upgraded version of him. He's working under Frost now. Um, yeah, there's just some complexity there. And now he's a cameo. We'll see where that takes us. Lee May. Lee May is this young girl, 19 years old. It's funny they say 19, but she's an Outworld person. If she was like actually 19 years old, she'd be much younger, I would think. She much younger looking. Lee May wins a Mortal Kombat tournament in her village. I think she's from the city of Lei Chin, or she's just in a village. She's not from the walled city of Lei Chin in Conquest, but I always mix up the two. I don't remember her village's name. There's a village there, and they hold a tournament. Whoever wins the tournament gets to face the Deadly Alliance. Just kind of like a way to hype up Outworld, and not be scared of this new Deadly Alliance, and she wins, and then she goes up there to face them, even though like all the other fighters are like, please don't do it. She goes up there, gets her shit rocked, about to get her soul stolen. Stolen. Borai Cho runs in, saves her, and then carries her off to safety. This significantly changes her. She starts dressing more scantily clad, and she in her ending falls in love with Onaga, but it's just kind of like a darker edge to her, and then dies in Armageddon. She appears in MKX to help the heroes, like try to figure out where Kano is or something, and the special forces. And then now she's a fighter again, and her and Sindel go way back. They're best friends, and it was under her watch that King Jared got killed, so she was forced to be a guard instead of the part of the Umgadi. And there's a whole like redemption arc with that. And that's Lee May. Potential there. Frost is a female Lin Kuei ninja. Frost joins up with she's very cocky and full of herself because she is really good at cryomancy at such a young age. Tries to take over, like beat up Kuai Liang and take his dragon medallion. Dragon medallion's too powerful for her. She freezes. She wakes up and kills a bunch of the members of the Lin Kuei because she thinks they're whatchamacallit? She thinks they're Sub-Zero. She goes crazy. And then he freezes her again, and then Taven breaks her out, and she thinks Taven is Sub-Zero, and then just a whole crazy thing. And then in the new timeline, she shows up in MKX, and she tries to attack Scorpion while they're having their peace treaty meeting, Kuai Liang and Hanzo Asasha. She jumps in, and then he fends her off, and she's like, "You'll rue this day, and you're a weak-willed whatever Grandmaster Sub-Zero." And he's like, I'll discipline her later." And then I guess he beat the shit out of her pretty bad because now she's a cyber in MK11. She's now a cameo, back to her classic self. I do like the classic version compared to the Cyber Frost thing. And I don't count Cyber Frost as separate because she's not fully cybernetic. Next up is Cyrax. I prefer Sector, honestly, to Cyrax, even though Cyrax is a good guy. Bad at first, made a robot against his will, and then joins the special forces, has his humanity restored. Yeah, goes on to just be one badass dude. I love Cyrax. And then dies in Armageddon. Yeah. In the new timeline, sadly gets his humanity ripped away, and then we do get a heartfelt moment in MK11 where Sub-Zero and Scorpion restore his humanity, and he's like, "Oh no!" He's like, "I tried." And it's like, "Oh man," it hits the heart. And he's a cameo. Just more wins than Sector in the original timeline. But Sector might arguably have a better resume. Like truly. Kenshi, cocky fighter. An old man said, there's this cave filled with this treasure chest with an amazing sword inside, an amazing treasure, and he's like, I'm gonna go get that treasure, and he goes, opens it, and a bunch of souls pour out and blinds the young man, and takes away his sight. But that sword that happened to be in there is his ancestor's sword. Just so happens, it gives him second sight. He is blind, but now he can see. It's humbled him, and he vows revenge on Shang Tsung, who the old man transforms into Shang Tsung. He knew about Shang Tsung, but he was like, oh, it was just a random old man at first because he transformed. Kenshi honestly doesn't just is kind of directionless, but because he was so popular and so well received, they were like, we have to force him to do something. And so in Deception, he and Sub-Zero kind of have a buddy cop thing in Outworld, and then he dies in Armageddon. But in the new timeline, he's the father of one of the Kombat kids, Takeda Takahashi. He's a DLC character in MK9. They just retcon it that he's now with them, which makes perfect sense. They're all the same age. And then in MK, he's not in MK11. He died. No, that's Conquest. We don't know. That's not canon, really. On the main storyline, main timeline. In the new timeline, Kenshi is blind again. Melina stabs him in the eyes with sighs. But the Datushi, his ancestral sword, grants him second sight again. So everything is as it should be. He would be higher on the list if he got more interesting storylines. Just a badass design, and just plays really well. Kun Jin, we got the first confirmed gay character in Mortal Kombat history, and it wasn't shoved in our face. It's not pandering. It's not woke. It's not that dumb shit. Ooh, it's handled rather tastefully. He's Kung Lao's cousin. He's really sad that his cousin is a revenant now. He wants to carry on the legacy, and he used to be an assassin, which sullied the name, but also people were homophobic, so that was kind of sad. And yeah, it's just really sad, really interesting character. I like his design. I like the archery. It's cool. Kung Jin. Bo Raicho. Why the fuck is a farting, burping guy this high up? I'll admit, when he first debuted, I am an MK apologist, right? I've already said this. When you're switching stances and fighting styles, he farts and burps. I was very upset. I hate farting and burping humor. It really needs to really hit me at a certain point. It's very specific. Farts and burps don't do anything for me, really. I'm not ha, that was great. No, and especially MK, I'm not ha, it's dumb. But luckily they took that away from him. I mean, he still has it in fatalities and whatever, but at least he's not doing it when he changes stances. They made this fucker the trainer of Liu Kang and Kung Lao and Shujinko, 3 of the most important characters lore-wise, so he's got to go up pretty high. And the next timeline in MKX, he kind of joins up again. Hello, and then I think he's been replaced by Madame Bo in the new timeline. Maybe? Question mark. Nightwolf. Nightwolf is a protector of the land of the Matoka tribe. He is a fictional Native American tribe. um, he's a protector of the land, and I like him a lot. I love him. Uh, he does some things. He wins a lot. Um, there is a Revenant Nightwolf for a little bit. Um, plays a big role in the MK11. Haven't seen him in the new timeline yet. Who knows if we will? If we ever will. Jade. Best friends with Katana since they were children. They are both trained to be assassins by Shao Kahn. Jade whips ass. She kicks so much ass. She assassinates Reptile. She turns on him in MK3. It kills him. Disappears for a long time. Then we get like the hottest version of her ever in MK11 is pretty hot too, but MK Deception, damn, and wins again. Armageddon dies. Sad face. Everyone dies. New timeline again. She's kind of questioning her best friend at this time. In this timeline, Katana doesn't know that Shao Kahn killed her mom. So Jade is kind of like, or killed her dad, and her mom killed his, Jade backs her up though. I think she's killed or made, yeah, she's made a Revenant. So we get Revenant Jade in the next game, but she's not playable. She just fights. And then MK11, we get Revenant Jade and Old School Jade, who is in love with Kotal Khan. I love romance. I think that's a great retcon. She's not in the new timeline yet. Sad face. She might show up. She is in Chameleon's transformation, so she's got to exist somewhere. I'm holding out hope. Sindel, mommy. Really important lore. She's the whole reason MK3 happened. They resurrected her body on Earthrealm soil, thus allowing them to break the barriers and kind of cheat and try to steal Earthrealm through invasion to rescue their queen. Backfires. She is they brainwash her because she unalived herself. So she had to, it's hitting me now. The brick wall's hitting me. Sindel joins the good side. The brainwash. She breaks it, the mind control, and goes back to be Queen of Edenia. She joins up to fight against Onaga. Wins again. Armageddon. Everyone dies. Sad face. New timeline. Because Quan Chi resurrects her, she is super OP that she one-shot kills everybody. This brings her up significantly higher than I would ever think to bring her up. This is the red wedding of Mortal Kombat. I was like, holy boy, did she just stab Jax in the throat with her heel? He's dead. She's killing everybody. Everyone's dying. Oh my god. And then she dies, and they give us Revenant Sindel. She is an NPC fighter character. You do fight her in MKX. She's not playable. She returns as DLC as Revenant Sindel and regular Sindel. The old school regular Sindel, a lot of people have called her Twindel. In this timeline, she is evil. She thinks Jared is weak. She actually loves Shao Kahn, loves what he's packing. They kill Jared together, and then when she dies, I think she gets killed by somebody else, and they stage it to look like an unaliving, if you will. And yeah, we then have Quan Chi, super OP. That's the main reason why he's this high up. Especially in the second timeline, they really made him OP. They end up killing him off, but it's still like, dude, MK9 is crazy. And then the new timeline, I just love Quan Chi. Let's just be real here. Onaga, the Dragon King, love him. I can't wait to see him come back. A lot of good lore there. Shao Kahn had to poison this giant dragon fuck because he was that intimidating. Shao Kahn had to do that, and Shao Kahn is the conqueror. Um, and killed him, and then years later he comes back and he wants to become the one being and all this other stuff, and then people are like, oh, we have to stop him. That's not okay. And then we got Kotal Khan. I was really surprised by Kotal Khan as a character. You know, Kotal Khan and the Jade thing, but like also just like I like him. When I first saw him, I was like, he's just a knockoff of Tekken's ogre. Um, but no, he's like true ogre or whatever. There's true ogre and ancient ogre or whatever. I don't know. I really like Kotal Khan though, and I hope to see more of him down the line. Sub Zero. Bihan. Despite what you might hear, there's not a lot of Bihan love out there. They all think he's a dickhead. Mortal Kombat mythology Sub Zero would like to have a word with you. He is a noble warrior. I know he's just doing it for money and because his clans ask him to, but he does have an interaction with Raiden, and I've always thought of him as like a mole on Shang Tsung's side. Yes, Shang Tsung approached him to join, but I also think he's like in cahoots with Earthrealm to like because Sub Zero like Lin Kuei are good guys. They're not good guys. They're Earthrealmers. So like it would make sense that they'd be on Earthrealm's side. I think his clan were just like do the job, but he was like, I could do so much more. Um, and what also leads me to believe this is the whole Serena romance plot too. Um, Sadly, cut short, gone way too soon. R.I.P. Rest up, bro. MK9, even more so. Rest up, bro. You can pretend that mythology still happens. I don't think it does. He's just a complete dickhead in this one. And then in the new timeline, even more so, complete dickhead. Um, but still, he's fairly high up because of mythology Sub Zero for me. Sub Zero, Kuai Liang. This is the definitive Sub Zero that we've gotten. He does all the good things. He is a super duper winner. He's the grandmaster. He's great. And no matter what timeline he's in, Kuai Liang represents, even when he's Scorpion. So, Kuai Liang Sub Zero, hell yeah, bro. We're almost top 10. Kitana, Princess Kitana, 10,000 years old. Love interest to Liu Kang. I don't even think I mentioned that she was a love interest to Liu Kang before, but she just a fucking winner, just a absolute beast of a character. Kitana, Jax, Major Jackson Briggs. He is Special Forces. He's the partner of Sonya. Their whole thing is to catch Kano. He saves Sonya. He winner chicken dinner. He finally loses to the Deadly Alliance. He's one of the casualties of that war, but then bounces back. He and Katana are the only ones that return in Unchained. They're ready to get revenge. They're like, you brainwashed us. We're about to fuck some shit up. While the other ones sit out. So Kung Lao, Sonya Blade, and Johnny Cage. I forgot what I used to think about Kung Lao. Like Kung Lao is very much like shell shocked a little bit. But Sonya always thought of her being like just so mortified, and Johnny Cage pretending to be like the supporting, like just kind of love interest, the love that never sparked in the original timeline. And he's there, but secretly he's also like just so like, I can't believe we did that. Jackson didn't play any games, so he's like, gotcha. He's like, oh yeah. In the new timeline, he is killed. Stiletto in his throat. He then joins whatchamacallit, MK. Fuck. MKX. He has like the redemption arc. Same thing with MK11. And then in MK1, he's a cameo. So we'll see where the future leads with him. we're in the top 10, and surprisingly, here's Jackie Briggs. I love Jackie and Takeda's romance in MKX. I think she's like really bringing a better name to the Briggs name than Jax is in the new timeline. He's kind of a cuck pussy for a little bit, with the whole redemption storyline. Jackie Briggs, Jackie Briggs returns in MK11, and in Mortal Kombat 11, he Jesus, scary as fuck. Jackie Briggs in MK11. I'm recording this video, scaring the shit out of me. Fuck. Jackie Briggs in Mortal Kombat 11. Great redesign, and just she's a hero, and she's trying to get her dad to see that the hero that he used to be. Fuck. Number 9 is Takeda. Takeda Takahashi is Kenshi's son. For now, we'll see the DLC version of Takeda, how that person's related to Kenshi, which means that'll be a new character. Takeda Takahashi is his son. He's so badass. He's so cool. He's the coolest of the Kombat kids, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people will share that opinion. And he, like I said, him and Jackie's romance. I'm so mad that he didn't return in MK11. She mentions how like they're gonna get like she mentions that they're gonna get a place together and stuff. So the romance is definitely still strong, but they don't do anything with that. Can't wait to see him return like properly. But who knows what the future of the Kombat kids is like, honestly. Number 7 is oh shit, I skipped one. Number 8 is Sonya. Sonya Blade, Lieutenant Sonya Blade. Very important character from the beginning, just over the years, just really cool. Yeah, she's a hero. She's one of the classic 3, you know, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya. She's awesome. Doesn't die until Deadly Alliance. Again, shell shocked. You know, comes back in Armageddon, swinging, and then tragedy. The new timeline, her and Johnny Cage actually have a daughter, Cassandra Cage. And then she's just a badass, and then heroically and tragically gives her own life in MK11. And then in the new timeline, she's just a cameo. We'll see what happens in the future. I love Sonya, though. Raiden, the protector of Earthrealm, he's dope. I mean, there's not much else to say there. Protector of Earthrealm, even Dark Raiden, even the new timeline dumbass Raiden, he redeems himself in MKX, I feel like, before becoming Dark Raiden, and then Dark Raiden is just kind of phased out. Then we get the old Raiden again, who also redeems himself like doubly. That's really cool. And then MK1 Raiden, I'm still going to count that as Raiden. I'm not going to count that as like a separate character, even though he is immortal. Amortal, not immortal. Yeah, Raiden is awesome. Kung Lao, put respect on his name. I love Kung Lao. I think he deserves a lot more than what he gets. He's become a big punching bag for the series. Please return to form. He's a damn good character. Deserves so much more than what he gets. I can't say that enough. Number 5 is Kronika. If it weren't for Kronika, like, she is the keeper of time. She is like the creator of the universe and the timelines before. She's always been there, looming in the background. We just didn't know until MK11. I think that makes her really special, even for just one appearance. Her presence will be felt for the rest. Like, you go back and play other games, you're like, man, Kronika was really in the back. Like, shit, it's pretty crazy. Number 4 is Shao Kahn, best villain in video game history, in my opinion. I love Shao Kahn. Emperor. He does suffer a lot of losses. He does get nerfed big time, but I still love Shao Kahn. General Shao, whatever you want to call him, I love him. I always will. The fact that he conquered so many realms prior to Liu Kang whooping his ass says a lot about the guy he was. Liu Kang really rocked his shit. Number 3 is Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage used to be my favorite growing up, and then he's the whole reason like Mortal Kombat exists. They're gonna make a game based around Bloodsport, I believe, Jean-Claude Van Damme's Bloodsport, and in that movie he does like the splits and the nut punch and a bunch of other shit, and then they were like, well, that fell apart. Let's just make a game, and then let's make this guy an actor still, in reference to JC, Johnny Cage, JC, John Claude Van Damme. Real name, John Carlton. Johnny Cage is kind of a punching bag for a little bit too. Tragically dies. They make that kind of a joke, but he's still on the winning side a lot. New timeline, they really elevate him to be the hero that he really is. Number 2 is Cassie Cage. She really took me by surprise. I love her as a protagonist. She kind of fell apart in the next game, ranking her fairly high. I just really love the story mode of MKX and MK11. She deserves to come back. I love her so much. Number 1 is Liu Kang. I'm basic. I mentioned before, Batman's my favorite DC superhero. Spider-Man's my favorite. Liu Kang is the hero. He's the champion of Earthrealm. Always will be, to me. Can't take that away from me. And like I said before, Fire God Liu Kang used to be number 1, which would mean Liu Kang was number 2. But then I was like, I gotta be honest. Fire God Liu Kang and Liu Kang are the same person. It's just he's got Raiden's powers, yeah, but Raiden still exists, So that's my ranking. I did it. I'm done. Take care. In the comments below, torches, pitchforks down, please. Who is your favorite Mortal Kombat character? What guest characters would you want to see in the future? Take care, everybody.